It can only mean one thing.
Yeah, you two guys have a chance to run. Is he here?
I don't know. Knowing Piper, you just don't know.
But he is an unpredictable man.
I like the look of this. There he is!
Roddy Piper!
There's the rowdy one. There is Roddy. Roddy Piper, live!
This is Halloween, this is Halloween, pumpkin screaming and get up. This is Halloween, everybody.
What's up? This is Chad from Necrot, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
All right, everyone, what's up? You're here with Steve DiGiorgio, bassist of Testament, Death, and many more. You're here on Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt. Keep it fucking heavy, yo.
Hey, this is Mackie from Triple Kill, Metal-O-Mania. Fucking happy Halloween, fucking smoke up, eat candy, and do whatever the fuck you want. Have a happy Halloween, you spooky motherfuckers.
It's hump day. Are you ready for your weekly dose of demon jizz?
All right, you fucking crazy metalheads out there, you're listening to Metal-O-Mania. This is Eric Beard from Angerhead. Fucking turn it up and let's rock.
Welcome back with the last one. I can't take through a day. I'm looking out with the reaper beat, but I still skip through the page. I've heard pictures, but I can swim. As I run out of breath, the lights get dim. When you're on the end, but I still choose to excel. I'm just dying, I'm just barely, I'm dying, bringing my own. Kick the tires and I flip the fires. You're the demon-ish, and there's no trend. I took a soul look around in my head, only a voice never sounds the same. The good and bad just couldn't take, unless it was enabling. Never a second can fall from grace. I override like a took me out with last week. You never got my face, and the emotions all are gone. I'm just dying, I'm just barely, I'm dying, bringing my own. Kick the tires and I flip the fires. You're the demon-ish, and there's no trend. I am now. Why shouldn't say this? Buried all up inside and be complacent. I'll let my roots like a tree and wait till they fix. An introduction for you, face me pavement. I have control over you, you're so basic. I can feed off your trust, I wanna taste it. You can't take it, you can't take it. Two tests of my character, things that I'm going to fail. I don't like the wrong first class, but it seems that ship is sailed. The rock back, step by step, reveal our destiny. More comes from ground and rap, with such intensity. I'm just dying, I'm just barely, I'm dying, bringing my own. Kick the tires and I flip the fires. You're the demon-ish, and there's no trend. I'm just dying, I'm just barely, I'm dying, bringing my own. Kick the tires and I flip the fires. You're the demon-ish, and there's no trend.
Halloween used to be my favorite holiday because not only was promiscuity and crimes tolerated, they were actually encouraged.
Yeah. And that's how we start episode 189, baby. Yeah, welcome to the show. What's up, Scully?
Hi, guys.
We're coming right from the 80s tonight, aren't we? What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us. I'm not going to do too much of a Roddy impression tonight because for some reason my impression sounds a lot like Macho Man Randy Savage. And I can't explain why, but
oh, that's funny.
But you're looking good, Miss Scully.
Thank you.
I can't even get into the show without saying that tonight. Good gracious, girlfriend. I dig what you're doing and how you do it. Welcome to the and not only is it Halloween, it's going to be Heathen night. We got some great things in store for everybody. And we're kicking it off fucking right from the start. We opened it up with a world premiere. That's right, a world premiere of that Angerhead song that we just played for everybody. Our pals. We've talked to them dudes in the past. We love them motherfuckers, man. If you go into our archives, you can find the interview. So that is a brand new single from our pals out of San Jose, California. Show them the love. So. All right, Scully. So the rumor was that Halloween was canceled this year, but we didn't get that memo, did we?
No, we're not going anywhere anyway,
That's
so
right.
we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. Halloween is never canceled around here. I literally woke up a couple of weeks ago, and I went to sleep, and it looked like 4th of July still, and I woke up the next day, and the entire house was covered in scaries. So. Scully loves some Halloween, and so do I. Look, can you tell? I got my skirt on and stuff,
I love it. Yeah, you did great.
You may not realize, I love your skirt. Your skirt. We're both wearing skirts for the show tonight. What the fuck?
But
how did that happen? Yeah, I love the fishnets. Fishnets work for me. Show a little more of the fishnet. That's good stuff. And I love the fishnet. We love this time of year. We're big Halloween freaks around here, so we're going to do it up, man. And there's a rumor that one of our metal pals may stop by later in the show to talk to us about some Halloween horror movies and shit. We're going to be talking to David White from Heathen tonight on the Halloween show.
Hell yeah. Okay, awesome.
Can't beat it, man. Yeah. We got great interviews coming for you. We're going to be talking to Dead Low next week. We got, I believe, Carnation and Caustic the following week. We're going to be talking to Gamma Bomb and Flotsam Jetsam, and there's a rumor we may be getting Sodom.
Ooh.
So stay tuned.
Nice.
Stay tuned, because all the biggest bands in your world know where to come to make and reach the metalheads. And it's right here on Metal-O-Mania. We're going to do it right. We're going to have a good time all night long. And again, I'm going to... What's funny is I tried to talk Scully into doing Elizabeth. I was going to do Randy Macho Man Savage at one point. I was going to talk Scully into doing Elizabeth. And she doesn't remember none of these people. She doesn't even remember Hot Rod very well. So she's a generation younger. But what's funny is you look a lot like Elizabeth to me, my love.
Well.
You accidentally did the Elizabeth thing very well.
That's really funny.
Hey, ain't you represent that Randy Macho Man Savage?
I was just going with like the punk rock.
I like it. You got pink, you got purple, you got it all going on.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. And we're gonna do the show in costume. This is our fourth? Is this our fourth or fifth fucking Halloween show? Good Lord. We've done quite a few of them now. You and I did Devils, and you did the Corpse Doll last year.
This is my third.
Yeah, right. And I did one with Gonzo, and I did one with Ballwood. So I believe this is our fifth Halloween special here on Metal-O-Mania.
Right.
We don't do it well, but we do it for a long time. So, we make up for it in endurance, I guess. Depends how you look at it. So, speaking of which, thank you to Necrot for coming on the show last week. I don't want to overlook that. That was a very cool episode. Get into the archives and check it out. We had Steve from Testament and Active Denial. There's new Active Denial coming out even as we speak, so look for that on the upcoming episodes. We're going to play that for you. And it's going to be a good time. You know what's funny about I shaved my face? I have no upper lip, you guys. I have no upper lip. Can you tell? I'm upper lipless. And my phone... I
was worried about it.
I haven't shaved in so long that my iPhone, my facial recognition doesn't work on it. For real. I have to put in my fucking code every single time all day long today.
Because it doesn't know who you are anymore.
It doesn't know who I am. Oh, look, I left Raider off. We're talking to Raider, too, man. Raider's coming up on the show.
You just looked down at your list.
I looked at my notes, yeah. I'm trying to go on memory because, not a good idea for a stoner metalhead usually.
Look at your notes. You have notes for a reason.
You are correct. So... But, all right, well, you know what? Let's kick right into the show. We got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to talk to a mysterious mystery guest later in the show about Halloween movies. We're going to talk to David White and Heathen. We're going to play some kick-ass jams for you. We got some Halloween comedy later in the show for you. So we're going to talk some Stephen King do's and don'ts. We're going to get all over the place. So let's do it.
Okay.
Want to dive right in?
Yep.
Well, let's do with this.
We talked about my hair, but we didn't talk about your hair.
What do you think? I grew this in just for you guys this week.
Look how long it is. This is great.
I just grew it this week.
That's great. I didn't want to put on the headphones and mess up my hair.
I just found out I was Irish, so this, my music coming into the show tonight and everything was perfect because apparently I'm Irish.
Right.
I thought my whole life I was Italian.
Hold on, I got it. Doesn't go with the look to do my lipstick.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, look. That's how you got to roll with it. Yep. You got to put it on during the show like 14 more times. You know, I bet our viewership grows up every time you do that. I know something else that goes up every time you do that. So, all right, well, let's play some Dead Sleep and some 13th Sign. What do you think?
I love it.
Out
Let's
of
do it.
Sweden and formed in 2016, Dead Sleep are some badasses with an EP out and now 2 full-length albums. Naked Tyrant is brand new. We're going to play Wages of War from it, and we're going to follow that up with The Ashes of a Treacherous Silence is the brand new 4th full-length release from 13th Sign, and from it we'll play Electric Hammer. And we'll get an alarm telling us to metal out at the same time.
Right.
So
That's
you
awesome.
can't ignore that shit. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We appreciate the growing number of metalheads that hang out with us every week for the Metal Show. And we will try to reward you all night with killer jams, starting with these. What do you think?
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do the thing.
All right.
Halloween, am I right? Something nasty always goes down on Halloween.
I love Halloween. The one time of year when everyone wears a mask, not just me.
Hey, can we talk for a sec?
Yeah, I guess. What's up?
I know we've been through our ups and downs, but I still really have feelings for you.
You're joking.
No, like...
What, am I just supposed to overlook the fact that you fucked my dad? Fuck you.
You're not.
Woo! Happy Halloween, everybody!
Children of schizophrenia have a 1 in 10 chance of becoming schizophrenic. Children of depressives are far more likely to suffer from mental illness. Children of both have very little hope of living a normal life.
She would rock her head for hours, gazing at the world, almost like she was not part of it.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Breaking things here at Metal-O-Mania for episode number 189. This is our 189th episode, Scully. What the fuck?
You all right there?
I'm going to fall out of my chair. I'm blown away by how good looking
so
you're looking right now.
Oh, well, thank you.
And, our 189th episode. It's pretty wild if you think about it, man. I was looking this week, and our last Halloween episode a year ago was 47 episodes ago. So we didn't take very much time off this year, man. We kept bringing the metal. What was that, 5 weeks off all year?
47,
and then 52 weeks? We brought 47 episodes in a year. Man,
we need
we're more
time
reliable
off.
than... Yeah, I know. You're probably right.
What I hear of that is we need a break.
You're probably right.
Oh
but we're more reliable than death and taxes around here for your metal folks. So keep coming and hanging out. We appreciate it. Last week, Scully gave you her ideas on Halloween decorations. That's a cool little clip that we put together for that, too, man. I'm very happy with it. We've gotten a lot of good feedback on that, Miss Skulls.
Good. Awesome. I'm glad. I'd like to see if any of you guys try it. Share
send
pictures.
us your pictures. Yeah. I really want. I'm hoping somebody does the great thing. The
pallet in the yard. Yeah. I actually know somebody that was like, "Oh my god, I have 1 million pallets of work," and then so I was like, I feel pretty confident she was gonna do it. So I'm curious.
We're gonna have to get some pallets and do it ourselves. I want to do one red for the zombie look, and I want to do a green one for the alien look. I think that'll be badass. That'll look cool outside of our
side of our driveway.
Yeah,
right. We've got 2 different fucking chambers full depending on what we catch. You gotta you don't put the aliens with the fucking
scare the fuck out of the animals
or whatever.
Yeah, I feel you. We'll scare the hell out of our animals. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
And it's that time of year. This time last year, you and I were in Salem, Massachusetts. You realize?
Yeah.
Salem, Massachusetts. We were in one of the Halloween capitals of the world.
Yes, sir.
Who knew what the next upcoming months would hold? We had no idea.
Yeah,
honestly.
Nobody did.
Yeah,
but we're making it work.
Wild to think about, though.
So,
but
I am curious. Is there going to be trick or treating or not? Because
right. I'm going to put some candy out.
And I think that people are at this point fuck this staying at home thing. I think people are just going to do it.
I know,
but I don't think it's going to be to the grand style that people usually do. I think they'll have some sort of restraint. So our neighborhood in particular, we never ever get trick or treaters. The entire county goes to the townhouse community.
Yeah, all the
where the entire townhouse community is responsible for all of the candy for the entire county, not country.
That is
I'm
true.
sorry.
You're right.
Yeah,
you are absolutely right.
So none of us have to really worry about it.
Yeah.
I learned that the first 2 years that we lived here, not a single trick or treater. But my point is, I'm thinking this year that we might get trick or treaters because I'm thinking the kids that live on this street are just going to stay on the street this year.
Right.
It's going to go back to old school 80s fucking trick or treating, where you're just walking around your own neighborhood with a flashlight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to return to some traditional type stuff like that.
Well, I like the idea of traditional.
I'm sure the townhouse community does too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do too. We know somebody who lives over in one of the local townhouse communities. Dude, I got to buy 37 bottles of candy every fucking year.
By the first hour, they're wiped out.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I would propose. I would like to change. I would like to add a tradition, though. See.
Okay, what's that?
This year in particular, we need adult Halloween to come back. You need to put out candy for the kids and beer for your neighbors.
Right.
Am I wrong? A shot maybe or something.
I get that. That's a little more expensive to do than a bag of candy.
Hey, if everybody's got everybody's back. If everybody's got everybody else's back, it pays for itself.
Right.
And kindness. Because, man, this has been a rough year. It's been a rough year. Halloween has been traditionally a get out there and rip it up kind of holiday, especially for metalheads. Get out there and party and have big festivals with metal bands and mosh and fucking break things, man. And we're missing out on a lot of that this year. So maybe fucking a beer for your buddy, a beer for your neighbor, man. If he's going by and his kid's getting the little Milky Way, say, hey, bro. You need a Lowenbrow. Do Lowenbrow still exist?
I don't know. I was going to say
I just dated myself, didn't I? Okay.
Nobody's asking for a Lowenbrow.
Yeah, right. You're right. But we were in one of the Halloween capitals of the world last year in Salem, Massachusetts, and there are a few of them that I want to, I wonder how many of these are on shutdown this year, but I didn't even realize. Did you know Ireland, which we're apparently celebrating big tonight. I got my Roddy Piper. I came out to my bagpipes earlier.
Right.
But Samhain is the name of the holiday that is considered the original Halloween from Ireland.
Okay.
It's stemming from Celtic and pagan rituals and a festival called Samhain, or end of the light half of the year. So, in other words, right before we enter to the darkened part of the year.
Okay.
Where we have longer night times. But that took place thousands of years ago. Today, both Ireland and Scotland celebrate Halloween with bonfires, games, traditional foods, and a thing called barmbrack. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Because I had not either.
All right, what is that?
Barmbrack is like a Irish fruitcake, but it contains shit like coins, buttons, rings, shit you can't eat.
Okay.
But they have representations, like rings mean marriage. Like if you want somebody who's to get married this year, you give them a fruitcake with rings in it. If you want somebody to get wealth, you give them a fruitcake with coins in it. There you go.
Okay.
Buttons. What the fuck does buttons mean? Put some clothes on your goddamn self, you idiot. You're in public. But there we go. Mexico. From November 1st to November 2nd, Mexico and parts of Latin America celebrate Dia los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead.
Right.
To honor those who have passed away, it is believed that the gates of heaven open up at midnight on October 31st, and the souls of children return to earth to be reunited with their families for just 24 hours. Okay. So it's a 24-hour visiting session with your past ones, and that's kind of their version of Halloween. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I like that it's a celebration of those we've lost. You see that a lot, actually, in some of these around the world.
Okay.
In Romania, tell me you wouldn't want to go to Romania for fucking Halloween.
Sure they do something cool.
The castles are, I've lost hours before looking at pictures on Google Maps and shit like that of castles in Romania. I really have. They're amazing. They are amazing. And in particular, the castle Dracula, where Vlad the Impaler was believed to have lived, and lined the walkway with spikes with people's bodies on them, by the way, back in the day. But they do tours there now. You can do a full-on tour. You can, pretty wild. Pretty cool stuff. So you want to go to Romania for that. Vlad the Impaler. The Bran Castle in Transylvania, Romania. Good stuff.
Okay.
You
So
wanna do that?
it's not actually related to Halloween in any special way other than people relate, like Dracula and
right.
the killing and
Very
all
true.
that.
Like what
The
you and
dark-
I talked about
the
last week.
The stuff.
Right. The gothicness of it.
Right.
You and I talked about last week, how John Carpenter very much changed the tone of Halloween, and he definitely did. And he tied every horror, thing became a crossover at that point once the Halloween movies were made. Anything horror became Halloween as well. I was joking with a buddy of mine as I was doing some of the clips for our show this week about, I'm looking for these specific Halloween shit. And he was like, dude, you're doing a metal show. Isn't everything you do a fucking Halloween clip? So, yeah, other than the costume, nothing changes.
Throw some more pumpkins in.
Yeah, right. We do it. We got lots of pumpkins outside. We got to carve some and make some seeds.
I know, we're lame. They're
We're
just
lazy.
still in pumpkin form. They're not jack-o'-lanterns yet.
We have like 7 big 6-foot spiders still sitting in our living room, and they're not even crawling on the house. We're lame.
We're kind of lame.
Our kids, man, our kids should be doing that. But anyway.
But the Reaper is up and
yeah, he's 11 foot tall and he talks.
Yeah.
He's pretty badass.
What's he say? Like, he who goes there or something. I forget.
I want your sword. Yeah. Yours will do.
Yeah, he does say yours will do.
Yeah. I'm here to collect souls. Yours will do. That's what he said to my mother.
Dance. He's like, how about the last dance?
Save the last dance for my butthole. No, I don't think he says
that. That is not what he says.
Well, how about you dance with me in Japan, my love, for the Kawasaki Halloween Parade?
Okay.
I would like to go to Japan to do that.
I bet they do parades pretty badass.
Yeah, man. They do. They gotta love. China and Japan both have a real love for fireworks and fucking firepower and what's the word? Gunpowder. So you're gonna have a good time there. Yeah. At the end of October, for the past 21 years, nearly 4,000 costumed Halloween enthusiasts from all around the world have gathered in Kawasaki, Japan. That's pretty cool. Just outside of Tokyo for the Halloween parade. It's the biggest parade of its kind in Japan. However, not everyone can simply join the festivities. The parade has strict guidelines and standards for participating, so you're going to have to enter and pay a fee if you want to be a part of it. So,
oh, wow.
They probably want to keep you from doing like nudie shit, man. Americans will come over there and pull our dicks out. That's what we do.
I'm sure that is not alone as far as... I'm sure the Japanese are pretty fucking freaky.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
So.
Yeah, I've seen some of their game shows, so yeah, I take that back. But let's be honest, I am wearing a skirt right now for easy pull dick outness. I mean, Scully's
they
wearing
didn't know
a
you were
skirt
going
too.
commando, but they assumed.
Now they do. Free balling, now I'm Free. Okay.
That's how it is.
The Philippines is got a tradition called children go door to door. Oh, it's not called that. It's what they do. The children go door to door where they sing and ask for prayers for those who are stuck in purgatory in the place between life and the afterlife.
Okay.
And they ask for prayers and treats, and apparently that'll help push them over the edge. They literally do trick-or-treating in the Philippines, though. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised. They do trick-or-treating or something very much like it in a lot of parts of the world. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. In Hong Kong, theirs is in the 7th month, the 7th lunar month. On the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, which is around mid-August to dummies like me, mid-September, the people of Hong Kong celebrate the Hungry Ghost Festival. In several parts of East Asia, people believe that spirits get restless from this time of year and begin to roam the world. Also, not on accident where a lot of our ghost stories come from, by the way. Okay. The festival is a way to feed these spirits both with food, money, and strength to make their journey into the afterlife. It's part of a larger month-long celebration that also features burning paper and food offerings.
Nice.
Pretty cool. What do you think?
So
That's
I
pretty
have
cool.
to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Food offerings are done
Candy
all
in America.
through history.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just,
for sure.
I mean, we
To
do
gods,
it
to
on
each other.
Christmas for fucking Santa Claus. So
Yeah,
it's something
right.
we do in America.
Yeah, we give cookies to Santa because this fat ass needs cookies.
But we kind of know who eats Santa's cookies. Wink, wink. For thousands of years, they've just been offering food. I mean, I would imagine there's been times where they've been starving and gone through bad times. Like, are they still just putting up all this food for nobody at all to actually eat?
I actually, unfortunately, know the answer to that. In many parts of the world where harvests are lean and light, where you most can ill afford to offer up any goddamn food to the gods, that is when they do it the most. That is when they offer up and lose most of the food. That is when they're the most desperate and are the most reaching out to the gods for some kind of divine intervention. So it's actually a double-edged sword in many of those cases.
Wow. Okay.
Very, very, very much the truth, unfortunately. You know what? I have a few more of these. Do you want to talk a couple? Let's do one more and then we'll play some music. What do you think of that?
Okay.
In India, for 16 days during the second Paksha of the Hindu lunar month of Bhadra, many people in India celebrate Pitru Pakshi, and I'm sorry.
I hope you were not brutalizing those.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
But it does sound to my stupid, dumb ears like Pokemon talk, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like a bunch of Pokemon characters? But the Hindu god of death takes his or her soul to purgatory, where they'll find their last 3 generations of their family. During this, souls are briefly allowed to return to Earth and spend some time with their families. So there's a lot of that. A lot of crossover to the afterlife during Halloween.
Well, I think that's probably it was intended to be originally like some kind of connection with the dead or something.
Celebration
related,
of those we've lost, yeah.
We've turned it into like a candy grab, so.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the roots definitely seems to be the conflagration of, we're missing those we've lost, bringing together some kind of food thing, you know what I mean, and and horror, horror's definitely become a huge part of it. We added that later, but it is a huge part of it now. But I guess that's to be expected with a holiday which claims to thin the line between the living and the dead. You should expect many horror stories to follow that, I guess.
That sounds scary.
Scary. It's so scary, Scully. That's my Pee Wee Herman. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that what that was?
It's so scary. Okay. In Poland, I've got one more. In Poland, in early November, people across Poland travel to cemeteries to visit the graves. See, like we were just talking.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of All Souls Day for Catholics in that country. The holiday is celebrated with candles, flowers, and offerings of prayers for the departed relatives they have lost. So there you go. Boom. And for our beloved, let's play some metal. There you go. That we still have. Let's play some metal for those beloved of ours that we still have. And I got a twofer coming up for you. We're going to start this off with some Act of Creation, man. This is a 4th full-length release from Germany's own. I love it. The Uncertain Light is the name of the release. It's punishing badassery. We're going to play Break New Ground from it, and then Havoc. Everybody knows our boys Havoc out of Colorado. Mm-hmm. They have just made a video for Fear Campaign, and I need little more excuse than that to play Havoc on the show, and I'm taking it. So Halloween, let's rock.
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah, man. Don't go nowhere. We got lots of metal. We got Heathen coming up on the show. We're going to have a surprise guest pop in and talk horror movies. And we're going to talk Stephen King do's and don'ts. So
awesome.
Metal coming at you.
All right, I'm ready.
Much love.
Much metal.
Halloween is an abomination of God, a celebration of the occult.
Beneath the cage, it's very doings to fly. Find the cats and goblins on Halloween night. Trick or treat!
Fear me if you dare.
Holy shit. The holiest.
And with Killer Metal, the Halloween Heathen episode of Metal-O-Mania continues. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I am enjoying your costume quite a bit, Scully. I'm going to bring that up to you all night long until I go and try to take it off you. But are you paying attention to this list though that I'm giving you? Are you following along? Because these are bucket item. These are bucket item lists we got here, man. These are bucket item places, destinations, and I got to be honest with you. They sound further away than ever right now because of the way this year has gone. Am I wrong? I mean, Poland and shit and Japan. 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, right on. We're totally going to do that. Right now, it's like, whoa.
Well, what's funny actually is we were trying to go to Mexico to see our buddies in Stranger Blaze.
Yes, indeed. Ilya, what's up, buddy? Love you, man.
And but I didn't have a passport, or I couldn't find my passport. And long story short, I found it. We got it updated. I finally have it, and borders are all closed.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere. States are shut down.
I can leave the country at some point when we're able to leave the country. So
I'm looking forward to it eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're hoping to come to your town, man, and we want to go to all these places. These are for us. We're both Scully and I have the shared love of horror and sci-fi and shit together. So these are all cool items. Although we're terrified to leave the country, to be honest with you, in most cases. But we'll get to that on
stay here for a while.
We'll talk about that on another show.
Oh,
the dog is snoring and sneezing. But in Nigeria, to continue a couple of these, if I may. The Oworu Odo Festival marks the return of the dearly departed friends and family members back to the living, lasting up to 6 months.
Whoa.
That's a party, kid.
Yeah, no shit.
The holiday is celebrated with feasts, music, masks before the dead return to the spirit world, and the festival is an important event there. But it happens only once every 2 years since it goes so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask, who decides like how long it goes or when it's over? Like,
it makes me think of that South Park episode where they kept partying as long as the liquor would last, and then whenever the liquor would run down, they'd start to go home. Remember? And Carmen would bring them more liquor, so they'd still keep fucking up and shit. That's probably how they keep partying until all the liquor in Nigeria is gone. They got to restock. Cambodia. You want to go to Cambodia? The fields.
They celebrate the dead.
Yeah, at the end of September to the middle of October, Buddhist families gather together to celebrate Pchum Ben, a religious holiday to celebrate the dead. You nailed it. People give foods and sweet, sticky rice and beans wrapped in banana leaves. as offerings to those who have passed and deceased ancestors. It's also time to celebrate the elderly of your family, the people still here that are...
the ones that are going to be dead soon.
Yeah, hey, man, you ain't going to be here forever, motherfucker, so...
Why don't you go ahead and show us how you like to party now so we know what to do
shit
for
on.
you when you're dead?
Somebody give Grandma a tequila. God damn it. Hey,
That's so
sounds like my family. I don't know about yours. Italy, All Saints Day, November 1st, is a national holiday in Italy, better known as the Ognissanti. The festivities usually begin a couple of days before when people begin leaving fresh flowers everywhere, generally chrysanthemums, on the graves of departed loved ones, as well as complete strangers. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot even. They turn the country's cemeteries into beautiful displays of colors all throughout this holiday. That's pretty neat too, man.
That's cool.
It's also known for the markings of red candles at people's windows at sunset as a sign for the spirits who are making their way through the afterlife. Pretty neat, man. Italy's doing it. Italy's doing it. I thought I was one of you until this year, but I'm Irish apparently. So there you go. And worldwide is All Saints Day or All Souls Day on November 1st. Many Catholics around the world celebrate All Saints Day, followed by All Souls Day on the 2nd. It's an annual time to honor the lives of the saints who died for their Catholic beliefs, as well as souls of the dead and family members that you have lost along the way. That's a big one. Everybody knows that one, though, right? I mean, is that one a national holiday? I believe it is a national holiday in America, correct? Is it?
No.
No, maybe not. You don't get November 2nd off?
No.
Construction doesn't halt for that one?
No.
Okay.
I'm not Catholic, so I was not
Yeah,
even
I
aware
grew
of
up
those
Catholic.
holidays.
I know all them shits, man. I had ashes on my head half the time when I was young.
That blew my mind. The first time I
Yeah.
ever saw that as an adult, granted, I never saw that as a child ever in my
That's
life.
weird to me that you never saw that. I guess I grew up in a very Catholic neighborhood.
And
but-
then I fucking, as an adult, saw, like, the first person I saw was kind of like, hey, that was kind of fucking weird. What was that?
Yeah.
Then you saw, like, another person.
think-
like,
weren't you
"All
and I
hang on."
together? Didn't I point it out to you? Yeah, that's right.
I was like, what in the fuck is the deal with the dirt on people's fucking heads?
What
walking
is
around?
going on, man?
This is fucking weird.
I had to Catholic education.
Yeah,
That's
man.
funny.
I'm fucking a little country girl from Calvert County. I don't know this stuff.
Yeah, you little punk rock girl. You don't know them things. Punk rock girl don't know them things. Let's add New Orleans to the list of places to go, though. Mardi Gras is known as the biggest celebration in New Orleans, which it is, but the second biggest celebration in New Orleans is far and away Halloween. So,
Okay, makes sense.
you know, let's go
They
down there.
like to party it up. So.
Yeah, they like them masks down there. And I got with that outfit you're wearing, Scully, I'll bet you could earn you some beads real easy during Mardi Gras. You could flash them things. Anyway, we already talked about Mexico. We already did. What about Sleepy Hollow, New York?
All right, what do they do there specifically in that one city?
Yeah, renowned for the tales of the Ichabod Crane and the Headless
the
Horseman.
actual Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. The famous grounds of Washington Irving's timeless legend of the Headless Horseman are a perfect place to get spooky this time of year.
Okay.
Celebrations take place through the entire month. So, yeah, that's one. That's pretty cool. Okay. Some of the events are 300-year-old, take place in a 300-year-old Phillipsburg manor. Excuse me. A mansion, but it is a mansion, sounds like. It's the landscape is set up this time of year with witches, vampires, ghosts, state-of-the-art special effects, and it sounds like a good fucking time, man. And that's not too far for us, man. We can make Sleepy Hollow, New York happen. Yeah. Long Beach, California. One of the scariest Halloween celebrations can be found in Long Beach, California. You can check out the haunted place, one of the most haunted places of the world, the cruise liner Queen Mary, docked off of Long Beach. It is a full-on horror experience where you go on the boat itself. You get to go on a cool-ass fucking maze through the boat, and it's all set up to be super scary and haunted. And there's rides on the boat. There's monsters, live shows, delicious food, beverages. Sounds like a pretty kick-ass time, actually, man. They do it.
And the boat just stays docked, I guess?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They get on and off and all that shit.
Right, okay.
Sounds like a lot of fun. New York City, everybody knows New York City, though. They do the parades. They got a big Halloween parade at this point in New York City. They got dancers. You know, that parade has been going on since 1974.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Nobody knows about that parade.
Really? I guess you think that Halloween and Thanksgiving, but yeah, New York.
No, we think Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, I meant to say Christmas and Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
But Halloween is a big one. Yeah, that's a big.
I mean, Christmas?
Don't they have a Christmas parade as well?
Oh, actually, no. Maybe. Yeah, you're right.
I think so. And then, of course, Hollywood. If you want to enjoy the movie experience for your Halloween, you want to go to Hollywood, California, where you can go to Universal Studios for a full-on Halloween effect, man. They take you through the sets for a bunch of horror movies. You can get your pictures taken with a bunch of famous horror icons. Like
they probably have their own green screen.
Oh yeah, I bet they do. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I think that sounds like a good time too, man. You can get your picture taken with like Jack the Reaper, Sweeney Todd, all kinds of fucking crazy.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Pretty wild stuff, man. And I guess for the last one, let's talk about the one we went to last year. We got one we can knock off our list, and that's Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay, we've been there, done that.
Yes, we did, and it was a good time, wasn't it?
It was.
I had a good time. We have lots of great pictures.
Yeah, those cool pictures taken.
Yeah. Our buddy Sam Manning we met made our cool ass animation that we use on our show every week to,
Right.
That's pretty cool. Sammy did that. Much love, Sammy. We met him in Salem, Massachusetts. We walked through some witch museums and did some cool ass shit. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We do recommend it if you get a chance to go and check out Salem, Massachusetts for Halloween. It's going to be a good time.
Yep.
All right, well, let's play. You know what? Let's talk to our buddy David, shall we? I'm looking forward to this, man. I can't
is
tell
this
you.
the interview?
Yeah, it is that time of the show, and I am so excited about it.
This is great.
I really am. I will tell you, this is one of those bands I've told you before where I found most of my music when I was young two different ways. One of the way I really discovered stuff like, AC/DC, which has a new album out, by the way, new video, the whole thing, but the way I discovered AC/DC and Black Sabbath and all that was by breaking into my brother's room and stealing his records and listening to them. But then came Headbangers Ball and Friday Night Videos. And by way of that, I found my Suicidal Tendencies. I found my Metallica's, and let's be honest, early day Rat and stuff like that. I loved all that shit. And one of the Testament, who we've now had on the show, how many cool icons from that era have we now had on our Metal-O-Mania show? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we need
a lot of them.
Come up with like a
Very cool.
list or a board or something where you can put their logos up or something.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I should push that out there, but we've talked to a lot of my iconic images, my iconic idols from that era, and we got another one coming on the show right now, man. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be joined by David White from Heathen to talk about the new fucking ferociously fantastic album, Empire of the Blind. If you like your chops with a real layer of technical bravado, a real layer of fucking just on pointness, it's a masterpiece. Let's be honest. I love this record start to finish. And I promise you, if you put it in your ear hole, so will you. And let's talk to Dave White right now about it. What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
You ready, Scully?
Yep.
Heathen and Halloween on Metal-O-Mania.
And now for something completely different.
All right, Metal-O-Maniacs, I am very excited to tell you guys today that we are going to be joined by the great Dave from Heathen, who I've literally been a fan of for, my whole goddamn life. So it means the world to me that you joined me here today, brother. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Making my day, brother, for real. I mean it. I'm going to preface this with a quick story, if I may, man. Way back when I was a 15-year-old punk idiot, which some would say I still am, and I'm not going to argue with that, but I went into a record store and I bought fucking Breaking the Silence, and it changed my life, brother, for real. It changed my world.
Wow.
Good shit.
Well, that record actually changed our lives too. It's like our first record. We're all a bunch of young punk kids too. And aspiring to get in that rock and roll world, and to be able to have Roddy Montrose produce it. I mean, the world was our oyster, man. It was an exciting time for sure.
Fuck yeah, brother. The roots of it all, really, man. I mean, that's where it all started back with that stuff. People our age, if you don't mind my saying so, remember the MTV and the Headbangers Ball, and the you guys cover of the Sweet Jam Set Me Free hit MTV Headbanger Ball like a bomb. I mean, the next thing you know, it was just crazy great times. I'll remember them days so fucking fondly forever, brother.
Yeah, me too. And it's something else when you hear your song on the radio, and then when MTV that came on. I think the first time they played it, Dio was right before us, and so here comes Dio, and then we didn't have any idea when they were going to play it, and then here comes Set Me Free, and it was like, holy shit, we've arrived.
We've arrived. Well, who knew then that here we would be fucking in 2020, fucking you guys are still just kicking ass, man.
Ah, jeez. Well, you know what? Thank God for that.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? I had no idea where we'd be at this time, and I'm glad to still be alive. Jesus.
Hey, man, you know what? That's a statement this year, unlike any other year. That's a hell of a statement this year. I'm glad to be alive.
Yeah.
So you guys, we'll start with it from the beginning. You put out this record in the middle of one of the weirdest years on record, so it's got to be very different than you're used to. When you put out a record, you do the press junket, you do the touring things. I mean, now you put it out and you got to kind of sit on it. What's that been like for you?
Fucking hell.
Right on.
Total fucking hell. Our management and our booking agencies and our label worked very hard to get this record out and get it done, and us as well. By June, we had already booked 10 weeks in Europe, 2 5-week tours with Potential Threat on one of them, and then potentially it was going to be Flotsam and Jetsam, but then they made a change, and we were looking to take out maybe Potential Threat again, or even Defiance from the Bay Area.
Yeah, Defiance is a badass band, yeah.
Yeah, and then we were supposed to go to South America for the first time, so we were really excited about that, and then all this stuff hit, and it's like, what's going to happen? Is it, do we have to cancel this stuff? And we kind of waited a little bit, and then it was like, oh yeah, this isn't going away anytime soon. So we had to hunker down. The factory where they make CDs and vinyl in Europe, that was affected by COVID. So that was, part of the reason why the record was delayed to September, which actually was a good thing, to wait a little bit. But everybody's listening. The one thing that I think is the common solace of all of this is people are listening to music more than they ever have in a long, long time.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, they're using a lot of the streaming services, which I like the streaming services. I wish they paid better. I wish was a fair market, But, what can you do? The record's doing really well. We're charting all over the place, and that's a good thing. And we thank the fans for that. We just want you guys to keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Well, I tell you, we put a poll on our page, on our social media stuff a couple of weeks ago, asking people what the best releases on 2020 are. And the Heathen and the Testament keep going like this with each other across the top of the board, brother. So that's good shit.
That's good. That's good company, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
I love the New Testament record. I love it.
Fantastic. Well, 2020, for all its faults, it's certainly been a gold mine, if you ask me, as far as metal releases go, though. It's been a fantastic year for that.
Well, this is the year, or this is the time in history that a lot of us have been writing about for a long time. And it fucking happened, and it's like, what did we do? It's not our fault.
Hey, we've just been singing about it forever. It wasn't our fault it came about, right?
Well, the last Heathen record, it was just 2010, was The Evolution of Chaos.
A great record.
That was the beginning, and even the song Control by Chaos, right? And we're living in that now.
No shit, brother.
And not just in this country, but all over the globe.
The entire globe.
With all the, misinformation, all the craziness. Nobody knows what to believe anymore. And so I say, believe in heavy metal.
I'm right there with you, man. I worship at the altar of metal for that reason, brother.
Absolutely.
You as you alluded to, the last release was 10 years ago, man. How's the last decade been for you guys? What's been going on? What led to, let's get this new record and put it together and let's, reinvigorate this thing?
Well, it's been a work in progress the whole time. It just got some delayed because, Lee Altus is also in Exodus. And when Jeff Henneman departed this planet, Gary took on the full-time job playing with Slayer. And after touring a few times with Exodus, they got to know Cragen pretty well, and they knew that he was the right guy to fill in for Gary. And they took both my guys were out on the road, and I was hanging out with my wife and my dog and playing music with some friends locally, but living life and waiting for those motherfuckers to, give me some love.
Yeah, get back over here, you bastards.
Yeah, and so, but Cragen was writing the whole time. And when the time was right, I think Exodus was exhausted from touring. Gary was exhausted from touring with Slayer, so he needed a little break before they could re-up. And that was our window of opportunity to get this record done. And so we did it. And like I said, Lee was going to give us his full attention for this year, as far as like getting the tours going and all that stuff. And then we talked about COVID hit and fucking ruined that shit.
What an unfortunate shitbag of timing, man. Yeah, we finally get together. We get this fucking Empire of the Blind thing. It's ready to rock and roll, and then this bullshit happens. God damn it.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal for sure.
Crazy, man. Well, as you mentioned, Cragen coming back. Cragen is a badass, by the way. I'm a big fan of Cragen as well. But so you get him back into the fold. How was the writing process, man? Was it just fresh as fuck? I mean, obviously the result is fantastic. So I got to feel like those were some fun sessions there.
Well, actually, there was no sessions. Cragen was writing while he was on the road. He wrote the entire record.
2020, man.
This is his opus. And once he finished up everything, he started sending, he sent us stuff early, and I worked on some stuff early, but then he just took the ball with everything. But we were listening to some of the songs like Son of My Hand. I probably heard the music for that back in 2013.
Wow.
2014, yeah.
Wow.
Because we wanted to get the record. We had signed a new record deal with Nuclear Blast, and we wanted to get that going on. Exodus just kind of got in our way.
Right.
Right. But once we got all the material together, everybody just did their homework, and we made trips out to Zeus and worked on the project. Cragen actually recorded all his guitars at his home studio. Jim flew in with Cragen to Connecticut at Dexter's Laboratory, and they recorded drums. And then Jason and I flew out to Massachusetts to hang out with Zeus, and we tracked. We shared time for a week in October, and then I went back with Lee at the end of November, and he finished his tracking, and I finished my vocals. And then, Zeus, we let Zeus just mix. We trusted him fully. And usually that's not the case. Usually we like to be involved and be there during the mix. But we had complete faith in him, and he did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. The sound quality, it's crisp. It's beautiful, man. I love
the best sound record ever done, yeah.
Fucking fantastic. Well, holy shit, man. Well, that's a 2020 story you just told me there, brother. Holy shit. What a change in the times, man. Well, let's rewind before 2020 a little bit, brother. If I ask you to go back with me to the very early days of Heathen, what are some of the biggest memories that kind of jump into the forefront of your mind?
Wow. Well, it's been a long time, so my brain's a little scattered. But I mean, we had some great shows over the years, and I miss my buddy, our old bass player, Yaz. He's gone now, and we went to baseball games and Raider games, and things on not having anything to do with the band, and just having a good time, and just everybody getting to know each other. The Bay Area scene, back in the 80s, was so unique. I still have so many friends from that time, not just band members and things like that, but people that were crew, people that just came to the shows, the fans that came to the shows, because they were all our peers. And, some of the fans or whatever, the girls there that, married some of the guys in the band.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, crazy stuff like that. And we're all just a huge family, and, as a whole, it's just looking back at it, that's what I hold dear the most, is just all the relationships. And even like with all our friends, in Europe, just incredible. And I was so looking forward to going back this summer, to seeing everybody, because it's been a little while, and, because I really care about these people, and, they have supported us, when we come in there, but, not just like coming to the shows, but like some people have put us up. You know, they fed us. You know, we had our last European tour. We had Generation Kill and Dust Bolt on the bus, and our bus broke down in Italy, and they fixed it. But our road manager's like, you know, is it going to make it to Spain? And then from Spain, we got to go back down to the south of France and play the Hellfest Festival. And the guy's like, yeah. And we made it to Spain, and on the way to south of France, that morning, that bus broke down for good. And, you know, it was train after train trying to get to France and you know, close to Hellfest. And then they picked us up, but then we had to get a ride to Dokkum, which is the north of Holland, for another festival, Dokkum Festival, the next day. And our road manager got in touch with some people at that festival, and these guys had a bus. They had a party bus that they pulled out of a wrecking yard and rebuilt the motor and turned it into this bus with, like, you know what I mean? It was like they'd pull out the speakers and play music in the parking lot or whatever. These guys drove 15 hours to pick us up.
Wow, man.
And then drove 15 hours back so we could make that festival. I mean, it's
metal, brother.
There's, totally. So there's just a lifetime of memories. And, you know, I mean, I could go on for days, but I don't think we had that long of a show.
To that end, has there been any, I mean, I know I've heard conversations that are talking as far off as 2022 at this point. Is there anything at all that's being talked about as far as rescheduling things, or is that just all still very limbo?
Well, I mean, some of the festivals, I mean, they are hoping that, you know, we'll be on their festival in the new summer, you know. But, I mean, if you're watching the news, you're seeing that things are just not, it's getting worse, or they're having an uptick anyway. So, you know, hopefully we'll, you know, the vaccine kind of thing, hopefully that's a good thing, and that'll happen, you know, and sooner the better. But you know, as long as it's safe, you know, maybe that will be the answer to knocking this out. It's really, really hard to comprehend. Crazy. That they haven't fixed it yet. I wake up every morning going, did they fix it?
Yeah, right. What the fuck?
I know. Fix it yet?
There's people whose jobs to do this shit, right? What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh God. Can you imagine how ballistic it's gonna be?
It's gonna. I got a feeling there's gonna be people leaving the mosh pit on stretchers for the first couple of months, man. I'll never get off my pulpit of standing by the music that is the soundtrack to our life is as important as the person you marry, as the children you raise, as the place you grow up. I mean, it's right there with it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, you know, when you have like there's a certain smell, like you go in a place and you have a certain smell and you go, and it takes you back, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
Music it's even deeper than that, right?
Oh, yeah. Nothing does that for me more than music, man. The shit I've grown up listening to is my life story at this point, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that for sure.
And, dude, I would be remiss in my duties as a human being to not tell you what a vital role you've played in that, man. Truly. I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome. No.
Right. Hey, stop. Tell me more, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, you know what? Hey, if you know, anything I've ever done has a positive effect on someone, then you know, I'm doing all right as a human being. You know what I mean? And that's all I can ever hope for when I die, is that people remember me in a good way, you know?
Well, man, your life's work has been important to me, but this fucking Empire of the Blind is important to this stupid year we're trying to survive. So, you know, it's a goofy fucking year, man, but I'm glad to have this Empire of the Blind to help me get through it, sir.
Right on.
Fuck yeah. Well, and on that vein, I know that if our listeners don't already have it, what's the best way? I know that the music industry seems to be changing every 5 days these days. But what's the best way for people to get the record where it actually benefits the band the best? Where should we funnel people to pick up the new record?
Oh, just wherever. I mean, you know, as far as the record goes, it doesn't matter. You can get it from us through our store. You can get it through Nuclear Blast or Amazon or I think actually if you can find it at your local record store, if you have one, that's probably, I would say that's the coolest place to go because it benefits these record shops, because those are the ones that are going away. Right. And we need those guys. I miss those guys. That's why I made friends with the people at Open Mind, because they care about the music. And I go in there and, there's all this vinyl and it just takes me back to my childhood, and so I think that's the best place. As far as benefiting the band, the more you can come to our site and buy merch, because that's stuff that we're making, so that we can actually make a living, especially during these times.
No doubt.
If we can sell 500,000 records, then maybe we might see the light of day as far as that goes. But record sales are not what they used to be. So, it's going to take a lot of records. So just buy them wherever you can find them. And if you go out, buy more than one.
Yeah, right. Get one for your buddy, man. Hey, Christmas is coming.
Absolutely, because it helps.
That's right.
It really does.
I'm a big, we preach every week on the show, merch, get a t-shirt. Now's the time. If you're able to do it, there's never been a more important time as a consumer of metal music, our genre, to support our artists by getting a t-shirt if you can. Pick it up, man. My Empire of the Blind shirt is en route right now, so I can't wait to get it.
Right. Well, we worked a deal with Ale Industries out of Oakland, and they did a really nice Imperial Pale Ale for us. And you can find that at aleindustries.com. Yeah. And it's a 1 pint tall boy, and you can buy 4 packs. And it's if you like that kind of beer, if you like pale ale, it's pretty damn good.
Oh shit! All right, I will be guaranteed I'll have some of that in my hand soon.
Okay.
Good shit. Good.
I'm holding that to you.
Yeah, good shit, brother. This record screams for a live show, brother. It really does, man. Me and Scully have been listening to it over and over again, and we just can't get over the fact that, man, as we listen to so many of these great records that have come out in 2020, we're being robbed of the live experience. That's so bad.
I know it. I mean, it's like I love the process, like recording and writing and all that stuff. I love that. But there is nothing that compares to being able to go out and perform and just rock out, like cock out.
Yeah.
And it's like there's just nothing like it, nothing.
Seeing the pit open up in front of you and shit.
Oh God, not sex, there's nothing. It's the best job. It's the most fun, and being and even going to shows back when I was young and just going and trying to sneak up and push up to the front, see my favorite band play. You know what I mean? It's just that's living. That's living, brother.
That's living, brother. You are right, and that's why life feels like it's very much on pause right now.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the fuck out of you spending some time with me, man. I'll tell you, it means the world to me, sir. It really does.
Well, me too, bro. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you. I felt like I'm just talking to a friend of mine.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, brother. For real, man. It's good times.
Well, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
Well, hey, maybe we can talk again sometime, sir.
That would be great.
Awesome.
Just anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you, brother. And I'm going to go listen to Empire of the Blind and smile for the rest of the day, man. You made my day, sir.
Okay. Right on. Cool. Have a good one, all right?
Hey, you too, brother. Thanks again.
All right, peace.
Peace, brother.
Everyone, this is Dave White from Heathen, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully. Metal!
Oh, okay. A little musical foreplay. Terrific.
So fucking how cool is David White from Heathen to stop by Metal-O-Mania and give us an update on life, metal, and the state of things, and Empire of the Blind, must own.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely must own, man. That's a killer song. I believe it might even be the third one we've already played off of it. I'm going to be repeating songs from that motherfucker because I really do love it. It's fantastic. Just a fantastic release, a fantastic dude, man. Craig is behind, some of the writing on it, just brilliant stuff, man. I couldn't be more amazed by this record. It is easily in my top 3 on the entire year, so boom. Right. And they talked to us here at Mellow. They talked to Roddy Piper in a combination of Kelly and Peg Bundy. What do you think of that?
I don't know.
One of our people in the studio said you look like you could be a good combination of the two, and I like it. I like it. I don't think that's a bad thing, babe. So I got a little bit of metal news that I wanted to cover before we got too deeply into the show, and don't go anywhere. We got more great metal for you. Good stuff. But Machine Head is teasing a new single called "My Hands Are Empty" for November 6th, apparently.
Okay.
You can hear 20 seconds of the new song if you look online. It's pretty much
20
everywhere.
20 seconds?
Yeah, they've put out 20 seconds of it.
Okay.
It's called "My Hands Are Empty." It'll be their 4th new single in 2020.
So is it like the first 20 seconds, or is it just like a random 20-second
It's a random 20 seconds in the middle.
That's funny.
They have not yet announced a new record to the follow-up 2018 Catharsis, but you got to imagine as the singles keep trickling out, that can't be too far off into the future. So as of right now, what we know is Machine Head is vocalist, guitarist Rob Flynn, guitarist Waclaw Vog Klitka, yeah, good luck, from Decapitated, bassist Jared McAgern, and drummer Matt Alston from Devilment. So it is quite a bit of badassery going on in there, man. So something you want to check out. Hey, don't stop. You better stop laughing at me trying to. You ain't saying these names. I am.
No, you're right.
You give it a
I don't even have
shot.
my glasses on, so
you
I
give
can't
it a
see
shot.
them.
I know that it's not our genre that we cover.
I glasses today for
I like it though.
costume.
It's working. You can't read, but
No.
I'm looking at you. But we do not do Scorpions as so much play them on the show, but I am a fan of the Scorpions.
Okay.
And apparently they have 25 new songs written. 25. That's what they did with their
25 songs written.
25. Yeah.
Oh, because they've just been working their ass off during the pandemic.
COVID came and they just went into a room together and started writing music apparently, and they got 25 new songs ready to go.
They're gonna have like a double album or whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking. Hey, I like the Scorpions. You won't hear it on this show. Maybe we'll do a thing. So that is something to look forward to.
Yard planned.
We do, yeah. That's something to look forward to. Me and Charlie Z of the Militants, Charlie Ziegler, much love to Charlie Z out there. I do love you, brother, and we're doing this thing. Me and Charlie Z are going to put together a metal yard, a special metal yard. We kind of went down the Halloween track and got sidetracked a little bit here. Yeah, but we'll get back to work. We're going to do the heavy metal episode. There's some great new just straight up heavy metal releases, the new Armored Saints, some good stuff. So look for that. Me and Charlie Z are going to bring you a special here in before the end of the year is my hope.
Okay.
So, but hey, who knows, man? Maybe one of these Scorpion singles will be out. We'll probably put our special together before that. But here's a story I thought was really cool.
Okay. What's that?
And I will tell you, our throwback jam tonight is going to be a power trip song because.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll talk about that later when we get to it. But
okay.
But we are. I thought this was a cool story. In Dallas, there's going to be a library named after our buddy Riley Gale of Power Trip, man.
Oh, neat.
His hometown of Dallas is aiming to open it up in December, which is pretty fucking cool, dude. Pretty damn cool.
That is pretty cool.
So the Dallas Hope Center.
Okay, what are they calling it?
The Dallas Hope Center, the city's only shelter for the LGBTQ and youth community, will be the home to the Riley Gale Library as well. Organizers in Gale's hometown are seeking donations to build it, and that was a very passionate project of his, is equality and not treating people different on their sexuality and treating everybody the same and giving everybody the same shot. Riley was all about that shit, man, and that's cool. I think this is a fucking awesome thing, man.
That's cool.
Organizers Vanessa Reynolds and Jeff Reynolds wrote the project was inspired by Gale's own love for reading, so
very, very
hats
cool.
fucking off. Good stuff.
So they're still collecting donations for that? That's something
It does look like they are.
in.
Yes, we will be definitely donating to that. So look at that. The Dallas Hope Charities.
Very cool.
Providing housing, and other services to youth between the ages of 18 and 24. And there you go. Going to be definitely something to support there, man. And Riley was a good dude, and he is very, very missed. Very, very missed. Well, we'll talk about that more because I'm going to play a power trip song later on the show. So we will revisit Riley later in the show as well. But I thought that was a cool thing to bring up.
I like it.
So good metal news. Well, I tell you what. let's play a couple of songs, and then we got a guest popping by in a minute even, so we want to make sure we don't miss that. And we got a lot of stuff we still want to bring you tonight, so don't go anywhere. We still got lots of metal to cover and lots of, a cool guest coming soon. So keep yourselves peeled for that. You ready? You want to jam some, Scully?
I do.
Let's do this thing. As a matter of fact, we're going to play some Psychosomatic. These are our friends. We have had them guys on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The Invisible Prison is just a ridiculously badass release. I love it so very much. Personality Agenda is a brand new song from it that we're going to play for you. I hope you're going to check it out. This album really is a highlight of the year for us. And we're going to follow that up with some Nether. Nether has got a brand new Beyond the Celestial Sphere. And it is their debut, our first debut tonight, all night. Yeah.
Drink a heavy one then.
Drink a big one because that's our first. What is this? Song 8 is our first debut tonight. That's rare that happens on our show. But the album is called Beyond the Celestial Sphere, and we're going to play Event Horizon from it, which actually happens to be a movie we're going to talk about later in the show, too. So it's all connected, man.
Stay tuned.
It's all connected. Let's jam.
Okay.
This is Jeff Salgado from Psychosomatic, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with Crypt and Scully.
That's a scream for help.
I'd like to welcome you all to an event that's sometimes been called the automotive counterpart to the Bay of Pigs. You all are certainly the most distinguished group of highway scofflaws and degenerates ever gathered together in one place. We're going to have a lot of fun.
eternal eye of the boy. Eternal, subliminal inferno. Thought of his existence is born. Deceived with the incompetent mind. What ours is doing, your estimation blind. When the blood is forced to begin to that possessor, special motion with no predecessor. Lifting use of the material, lifting the real and the human. God. No to the Unchangeable, source of the pain. Innocent of all, your soul shall pay. Eternity, it's here to stay. Welcome to the infernal gateway. Beneath the veil of grim fate awaits dire now. New dimensions transpire.
I think you would all say the same thing. I think you would all be like, this is one sick, twisted, deviant pervert who also loves current events.
Metal-O-Mania episode number 189 is the soundtrack to your Halloween horror this year, hopefully. How about that, motherfuckers? So, yeah, Psychosomatic, that's such a badass release. Now, I truly love the bands that we're featuring for you tonight. I hope that you do show them the love. That's the point behind the whole stupid show in the first place, right? We came out here in costumes and all this bullshit, but at the end of the day, we just want you to love these bands like we do.
Right.
So, please do. And I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time, Scully?
I am, yes.
I enjoy the Halloween
this is
thing.
Very fun.
I know. Getting dressed up is still fun. I don't give a fuck. If you ever outgrow that, man, fucking, I don't know, eat a dick because it's fun. always
your
be
hair
youthful.
different colors is always fun.
Yeah, man. Fuck, I've had fun running around and getting dressed up all day and shit. Yeah, we sprayed.
Because I think I
We
inhaled
fucked the
a lot.
ozone layer by coloring Scully's head.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did, man.
Yeah.
I think we stuck our dick right in the ozone layer tonight.
A little bit.
Kind of fucked up.
We're gonna be extra green the next couple of weeks to make up for what we just
lighten
did.
our footprint.
I'll bring my own bags to whatever store I go to for the next couple of weeks.
Okay. No printing. I'll do no printing for a while.
Okay.
There we go. That's going to be a good thing. Oh, wait. I think I hear the doorbell. Do you hear the doorbell? Because I think someone's here, and it's our special guest.
Oh, awesome. Let me
Yeah.
go see. Hold on, I'll be back.
I'm very excited about this, you guys.
Should I
Our
go
buddy.
see?
Yeah, if you want to, but no. Our buddy Blake from motherfucking Pig Destroyer. We've had him on the show to talk about his badass band before, but he's going to join us right now for a special reason, and that reason is Halloween. Well, I tell you what, without further ado, let's talk horror movies with Blake.
Rede Cultura, o programa.
Good evening, America. This is Blake from Pig Destroyer's Halloween horror movie suggestions. Check it or be lame.
Well, what's up, metalheads? Look who's stopping by to talk a little bit of horror movie magic with us for Halloween season. What's up, Blake? How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
I'm very good, man. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you popping in, man.
Of course.
I know this is a subject that means a lot to both you and I, brother. So this is a big one for you.
Yeah, man. Super into movies in general, but horror films are kind of more of my cadre, man.
Yeah.
Recently I feel like there hasn't been too many great ones that are straight horror. Like I really liked Mandy a couple of years ago, but that's more of like a psychological. Well, it's not really psychological. It's not a straight up horror movie either.
Right. Mandy was fantastic. Yeah, great movie.
Mandy was great. I kind of like The Color Out of Space. We were talking to Lovecraft a little bit earlier, and that's one of the closest Lovecraft movies to the story, but still, like, it takes a sharp left turn in that one.
Well, and that brings us to our point then, man. We got Blake from Pig Destroyer's 5 underrated horror movies that you must catch for your Halloween season, right, my friend?
Yeah, man.
We'll start with number 5 on your list, which I believe is the Dunwich Horror, right, sir?
The nights are darker. And night is when it happens in the Dunwich Horror.
This movie kind of struck me because it's actually one of the closest stories that is closest to Lovecraft, to the original story. And obviously you can't show a big invisible monster like it's in the story. So it's very of the 70s where it's, the Church of Satan was getting a big deal and there was kind of pre-satanic panic, but that was going on in the world. And it's like a very mystical, and it's Dean Stockwell like wearing wizard robes and shit. I think it's underrated. It's not creepily lit, but it's a very 70s horror film, man, and I really love it. It's a little too bright and well lit to make it anything scary, but as a Lovecraft dude, that's probably like my favorite Lovecraft movie that's distinctly Lovecraft.
I love your love of Lovecraft, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I've got definitely a huge nerve with that stuff. But and I think it's Sandra Dee too. I can't remember who plays the girl in it, and they tie her to a big stone altar to sacrifice her, and it's like clearly made of styrofoam and spray painted gray, but it's just a badass movie. And I think it's underrated. I don't think a lot of people know that it's even out there.
Well, I'm going to make it a part of my Halloween season because you say so, brother. Fuck yeah. Well, and then tell me why everyone needs to watch Dead Alive, sir. And I know and love this movie, so yeah, preach.
On this picturesque block, in this manicured home, something evil, something terrifying, something horrifying is haunting Rhino.
So Dead Alive is probably, there's a couple of very distinct reasons I picked this. The first one, it's probably the goriest movie I've ever seen. Now, the gore is really cheesy, and it's basically just water with food coloring in it. But that
Some of the best movies.
it was banned in the States forever. And there's the scene where the guy turns into a zombie and he holds up a lawnmower and it slow-mo chops like the first finger joint, the next finger joint. And you just see the zombie walk into the lawnmower like super fucking slow and just gore going everywhere. And it's one of the most creative, like, I think, gory scenes that's just so over the top. I mean, everything is over the top about that movie. Like, it's not subtle at all.
They pull zero punches, man. Yeah.
And the fact that, when we were talking earlier, it's the fact that it's Peter Jackson, who's, notorious for the Lord of the Rings movie. And like, that was basically his like student film.
Right. This is my arrival. Yeah.
Right. And it was banned in the States forever, and anything that's banned in the States always is going to get my, perk my ears up a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. Anything that creates that controversy, you can't buy that kind of publicity. I mean, that kind of promotional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When word spread around when we were young, I'm a little older, but when we were young, about the Reanimator scene where they held the head and put it between Barbara Crampton's legs and shit. Everybody in the world saw that movie when they heard that.
And how crazy is that? Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs were in 2 Lovecraft movies because they were in From Beyond as well.
From Beyond is a must-see movie, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, all right, the next one on your list, man, this is one that means a lot to me, of course, and that's Dagon.
Hello? We need help. What kind of church is this? What the hell's going on here? You want to tell me what's wrong with everybody in this town?
I tell you a secret. No one leaves. People come, but no one leaves.
Yeah.
Back to Lovecraft. I can't tell you, man. That means that as someone who has got Lovecraft tattoos all over myself, man, that's beautiful shit.
Yeah, so this one's only, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years old, and it's actually based off the story of The Shadow over Innsmouth, which is, I don't know, like probably my top 5 Lovecraft stories. The name of the movie Dagon refers to another Lovecraft story, and the two don't ever meet. But it's just like a cool story about like monsters in a town. I mean, it doesn't get super Lovecraft. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's not as like, say, esoteric as a lot of his other shit.
Right.
So, it's basically like, I go to this fucked up town and there's a bunch of monsters in it.
There will be no time, no today, no yesterday. Only the forever, and forever, and forever without end.
I don't have a choice, do I?
And it's pretty close to the story, and it's creepy. I mean, it's raining in the movie like almost the entire time.
Constantly. It's
constantly
brooding, yeah.
Right. So, it definitely sets a mood, and whether you can debate which Lovecraft movie is the best over and over. It doesn't follow the story exactly, but it still sets the mood and puts you kind of, you kind of feel like that's one of the movies I think that's closest to Lovecraft because of that mood.
Yeah.
Story-wise, not spot on, but yeah.
But definitely, you couldn't have nailed it more. The mood is so dark and somber, and again, claustrophobic.
Yeah, very much so.
You through to the end,
Very much so.
And just for those out there, this is my Dagon. So
very good.
Good shit. Well, I'm gonna save one of yours for the end for us to talk about. So let's talk Evil Dead 2.
4 years ago, in this quiet forest, in this cozy cabin, something happened.
Evil Dead 1, I agree, is finding its footing, and Army of Darkness is a little on the cheese PG-13 side. So
right.
Evil Dead 2 is the perfect slice in the middle, sir. Talk to me.
It really is. And, I love Raimi. I really like Crime Wave, and you want to talk about a movie that's raining the entire time. I don't like. But, I think that Evil Dead 1 was good. And like you said, it's really finding its footing. And I like that they like were like, okay, well, we could do this better, and it's basically the exact same film. I mean, there's a couple different characters, and the ending was a little different. Well, the ending's drastically different, but it's you know, hey, let's go to this cabin in the woods. It's the exact same movie,
Right.
but you could tell all their practical effects. They were able to do that a little more. You know, like the whole thing with the camera zooming into everyone's faces. They were able to pull that off a little bit better.
Yeah.
Again, like, and there's such little like tongue in cheeks when he cuts his hand off, and he sets a bucket down and puts a book, and it's a Farewell to Arms is one of the books.
Right.
You know, and like I'm a huge Raimi fan. I even like Drag Me to Hell, but it was a little too Disney for me. But Bruce Campbell, I mean, he's the fucking man in that movie. And he's kind of like a little more of a bitch in just regular Evil Dead. Like this, he kind of comes into his own.
Good, man. I couldn't agree more. The scene with the arm and the hand cut off and all that shit is.
Son of a. Oh.
But, you know, I definitely think going into the second one, they knew they had gold in Bruce Campbell and his physical comedy, kind of, you know?
But yeah, that's Evil Dead 2. That's why I like it. I just feel like it's a little more fleshed out. It's a little more like well thought. And they're like, okay, well, let's do this. And I don't know if you ever read Bruce Campbell's book, but it's pretty fucking interesting. Some of the shit how they did some of that stuff. Like when they turned into Deadites, they were just these contacts that they couldn't see through, and they had to take them out every 15 minutes because their eyes couldn't breathe.
Oh shit!
So you look at this scene, and it's like, you're like, man, this person is suffering.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
And
for your art.
When the mom turns into the Deadite, it's one of the probably I think Ted Raimi is in that, and apparently you can see a bead of sweat coming out of the costume that's running out of his ear because it was just so fucking gnarly, like shit like that. Like you know, I after knowing that sort of stuff, I don't want to look for it, but if it pops out, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of those movies, man, the stories behind them are almost as fucked up as the movie themselves.
Yeah, I know. You think all these movies that are so brilliant are like, you know, so well thought out, and there's like a lot of happy accidents, or you just find out it's held together with like spit and duct tape. You know.
Talk to me about House of the Devil.
Talk to me, Lord. Talk to me.
So this, I think, is super underrated. It's very, very genre and very like late 70s or early 80s, although it was done in the mid 90s. It's just like a creepy fucking throwback. It's not too goofy. It's not too on the nose. I mean, it's basically a classic, you know, babysitter gets kind of chopped up sort of deal. But yeah, you know, I think even the film they used was older stock to make it look like it was like late 70s, early 80s. I mean, there's so many movies I could pick, like Last House on the Left I love, and I love The Thing. And but The House of the Devil is very underrated. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir. I love that movie, actually. Yes, sir.
You know, and it's brilliant in the fact that it doesn't feel like a throwback. It doesn't feel like, okay, well, it's 2020 and I'm going to start a thrash band that sounds like we started 40 years ago. Right. The movie looks and feels like a 70s or 80s movie. It doesn't seem like schlocky or tacky in that regard, you know?
Right. No, if I told you that's what it was and gave you you believe it. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. There's like, you know, people do those throwbacks, and that's cool, and I enjoy a lot of that stuff, but they always kind of put something kind of goofy in there or something kind of stupid, whereas this is very well acted. I mean, it's acted better than a lot of the 70s and 80s movies, and it's just like an intense film, man. I love that movie.
Well, and speaking of Ari Aster, that's a great setup for what will bring the number one movie on your list here, because in my opinion, Aster has taken what he's learned from Argento some. He does have brilliant use of lighting and color, and he's each frame seems to be very structured and important. And when you say those sorts of things, that screams Argento to me, right? I mean,
yes, most definitely. And you know, you kind of asked for underrated movies, and I don't know that Suspiria is underrated anymore. I think, right, when I was a kid, I mean, it was kind of whispered about, and like, when I saw it, I was like, man, this movie is fucking awesome, but I don't see the big deal about it, like it being so shocking. I mean, there's just a lot of vibrant colors and his shots. I mean, the first scene of that girl running through the Black Forest is one of the best scenes ever. And, you know, he worked with the band Goblin on the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is 100% critical to that film. And, you know, there's the story was actually the school is supposed to be for, like, younger girls, not adults. So that's why when the girls talk to each other, the dialogue is so, like they're, like, sticking their tongues out at each other and calling each other, like, dumb, stupid names.
Right.
And I wonder what prompted him to change that to make it for adults.
I'm betting sex appeal, but
yeah, probably. And you know, that's probably my favorite of the Argento films. It's definitely his most well shot, hands down. I mean, I really love Tenebrae.
I do too, man.
Tenebrae, I think, is super underrated. But again, is it a straight up horror film? You know,
no, but you know, horror is so subjective, just like anything else. Metal, anything else, everything's subjective. It is what it is to you. I mean, I personally think Mrs. Doubtfire is a fucking horror movie. So
what do you mean you do voices? Well, I do voices.
Yeah! We've come to this planet looking for intelligent life. Oops, we made a mistake.
Fried Green Tomatoes would be one like that, or like
you know what I mean? Shit.
Any
What was
movie
the
where
one Kathy Bates got naked in? Come on, that's hard.
But you know, like Suspiria is like it's, you know, they remade it recently, and I know you said no Argento, no Suspiria, and that was
I can't watch it. I'm sorry. I've had people push me to it, and I just can't.
I got to tell you, that's a good movie. It's just not Suspiria. There's so many like underlying World War II themes and all this other shit, and I'm like, all you have to do is make a movie about witches.
All right, what are you doing? Yeah.
And you know,
I'm a Tilda Swinton fan, so I mean, it's difficult, but I just.
And, you know, I think I'm a fan of Dakota Johnson when she's not wearing clothes, but.
Me too. Me too.
And, you know, in the original Suspiria, since we were talking about that, God, what is his name? I keep wanting to say Rutger Hauer. It's not Rutger Hauer. Fuck, he's Udo Kier. Makes a very brief appearance in Suspiria. And it's like one of those movies that every time you watch, you see little shit in the background that doesn't really lend to the story, but it just like makes the movie that intense. You're like, you put all this time and effort to the set and the lighting and the framing and the colors. Why did you put any or very little into the story? But the story doesn't really matter in that movie.
Yeah.
You know?
That's definitely more of a journey, I feel like, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to take you on a journey. You want of color, of, you know, this isn't your everyday film, man. I'm gonna bring you into this thing, and you're gonna, you know, I'm gonna wrap you in blankets of it.
Yeah, I mean, the movie is priceless, and the soundtrack. You know, when we were talking about Carpenter along with that, there was no way that movie would be the same without that soundtrack.
No way.
I was fortunate enough to see Goblin perform the Suspiria soundtrack to the movie live.
Wow.
It was in Texas, the First House Score Horror Fest, and Big Destroyer played. And I think that's half the reason me and Scott wanted to do it. We're like, oh, fuck yeah, Goblin's doing this? Hell yeah, we're doing it.
We'll be there, man. Fuck yeah.
I mean,
awesome.
Nowadays, Goblin still performs, but there are 3 different bands, and you never know which one you're going to get. You know, and not all of it is horror film related. So, like, I could give a shit less about the progressive rock records. I don't like, it's not for me.
No, man, we're here for the genre shit, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, Suspiria just got, like I said, it was really hard to find when I was young, and people would kind of whisper about it and be like, yo, have you seen this? It's kind of nuts. And, like, the name is just so evocative, like Suspiria, you don't know what it is. It's, you know, we're about the same age, and when I was younger, I don't know that I saw that many foreign horror films. Right. You know, right. It was just like, wow, there's someone else is doing this in Italy. And I'm like, well, I got to check this out. And, you know, lo and behold, that's like, what, his 15th movie or something like that?
Right, true.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Suspiria was a gateway drug to international movies. It really was.
Same with me.
Yeah. You kick ass, man. I appreciate you fucking talking about heavy metal horror movies. Well, let's say horror movies for heavy metal fans, I should say. There you go.
Yeah.
That's good shit, man.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, brother. Thank you, sir.
Damn, that shit was dope.
Special thanks to Blake from Pig Destroyer for those movie suggestions for your Halloween holiday, man. I know that I have seen them, and I reinforce his suggestions. They are good ones. Check it out. H.P. Lovecraft. Anybody who loves H.P. Lovecraft is a friend of ours around here, man. I'm fucking practically covered with tattoos of H.P. Lovecraft. So.
Right.
Good stuff, man.
Yep, we know how I have a couple days off around the holiday, and we are gonna veg out.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna horror up.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do the horror thing. So any of those movies that you missed on Blake's list, we will certainly check out. And I tell you what, let's play the metal sandwich right now for everybody. And then when we come back on the other side of this, I'll talk to you about a couple movie suggestions I have for you that you should make sure are a part of your Halloween. So. Thanks again, Blake, man. You kick ass for that, though. Very, very appreciated. Very, very appreciated. All right, so for the sandwich this week, though, we're going to open things up with Plague Years, who we have also had on the show. Badass band. I'm telling you right now, Circle of Darkness is such a silly release. We're going to play World and Blood from it right now, and then we talked to Eric and Plague Years a couple of weeks ago, and it was a long interview, and we kind of we talked a little bit about Riley, and we ended up, that part didn't make the show, so we're going to play that clip because the throwback tonight is going to be Power Trip. So we're going to play some Plague Years, then we're going to play some Power Trip, which, I'm not even going to get into it too much, but me and Eric very much agree on Riley's role that he played in our resurgence, man. I truly think it's a very big part of that. So we're going to celebrate that a little bit tonight, and then we're going to play a little clip we made for you that's kind of goofy with some King Diamond Halloween music, because that's what we do every year just about. I don't think we've ever done a Halloween show without something King Diamond.
Yeah, I mean,
And, it's tradition. Can't fuck with tradition. And then we're going to come out the back end of this with our buddies Vision Serpent out of New York, who we also had on the show, man. Great band, doing the thing. This is a debut release from them as well. We're going to be playing, I believe, our third or fourth song off of it, which is Line Your Coffin. So let's get our metal sandwich on Halloween style. Thanks again, Blake. You rock, man. You ready to do this thing, Scully?
Oh, yeah.
Let's break things. You got some candy for me?
Yeah.
Give me some candy.
Hey, this is Eric from Plague Years, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
You know, and not to put too fine a point on it, but of course we just lost Riley Gale this past week, and I think the Power Trip played a role in what you were saying, man. I think they really played a role in rewriting good, solid songs again, and I think that's helped, you know, bring the metal thing back, man. I think he played a role in that, so he'll be missed.
I think if you don't notice it now, if you're not able to recognize it now, definitely as years go on, people will look back and they'll know that Power Trip was the band. I mean, they were the band that made, you know, what it is now. I mean, without them, you know, I don't feel like this would necessarily be, because there was still bands, you know, there was still, you know, Iron Reagan and Warbringer and Havoc and stuff like that, but they never did it like how Power Trip did, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that has to do with, like, you know, like kids nowadays, they love rappers. They love rappers because the music is good, but they like it because they see somebody that they want to be, and they have a character. They have like a certain swagger to them. Right. And that's what Power Trip had, my opinion. You know, when you seen like the interviews and stuff like that, and you know, they had a certain attitude to themselves that people wanted to be. So that's what made them really just blow up. And you know, R.I.P. Riley, man. He's a really close friend of mine, man. And it sucks, dude. It really sucks.
Executioner's tax changed the game, brother. Well, I'll tell you what, we were fortunate enough to interview Riley. We had Riley on the show. And in my opinion, at the time, I told people after that interview, this is the interview that just made our show a thing. You know what I mean? I felt like we arrived because we were able to talk to a guy like that, honestly. And he'll be greatly missed, brother, for sure.
Yeah, I actually, back in like 2016, we played a show with my other band, with this other band called Iron Age. And Riley picked me up from the airport, and he played me the Nightmare Logic record, and he got to Executioner's Text. This was before it had come out. And when he got to Executioner's Text, he said, "This is the best song I ever written." And then, I mean, the rest is history after that.
Hey, game changer of a song, brother. I the first time I ever heard that song, I was like, the riff in that is sick, man. That is, good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're awesome, man. I love those dudes.
Yeah, we lost a lot and what the future of that would have held. So, you know, heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
This is Riley from Power Trip, and Metal-O-Mania kicks ass.
I see you in another life, brother.
Brainwash mind,
back to the old drawing board.
Then, Ratatouille fucked up Halloween for me. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Go way over the top, decorate the house. I have all my friends come over, and we drink scotch, and we smoke weed, and we watch old monster movies, and then the kids come by, and we jump out, we go, boo, and we make it really fun. But I love Halloween. But a couple months before Halloween, some friends of mine sent me pictures of their kids, and they were dressed as my character from Ratatouille. Remy the Rat was a little Halloween costume. So now, no, because now I'm tense and I can't enjoy the high or the scotch because I'm so afraid that some kid's gonna come to the door as Remy, and just out of enthusiasm, I'm gonna go, "You're inside of me right now." Did you know that? How about that? You're walking the night in my skin. How does that feel? That is very well-meaning. And that is like a step away from, does this washcloth smell like chloroform to you? What do you think? Doesn't it smell like chloroform? Take you down to Uncle Touchy's naked puzzle basement.
do you guys celebrate Halloween? You guys get all dressed up? Who does that shit? Who gets all dressed up? Like, some people take it too far. My cousin, he loves that show, Stranger Things, right? He's 50 years old, right? He dressed up like the little fat kid with the curly hair. And I'm like, who are you supposed to be, bro? He's like, Stranger Things, bro, the little fat kid with the curly hair. I'm like, you're an alcoholic, bro. Why are you dressing up like a dude from Stranger Things? Like, your kids hate you, your wife don't talk to you. What are you watching Stranger Things for? You need to get your life together. Fuck you, bro. And then he's all sad and stuff. Just ruined the whole Halloween party for him. Be in the bathroom doing cocaine, I said, fuck you, bro. Like, I didn't know the little kid from Stranger Things did cocaine. This looks funny, yo. Like, you guys ever give out candy to the kids in your neighborhood? See, I don't like that because I hate these fucking kids in my neighborhood. These are the same kids that are breaking windows, spray paint fucking gang signs on people's garages. Now you want to come and ask me for candy? Like, I don't fucking recognize your voice and shit. Sure, they're trying to be like, trick or treat, trying to act all innocent. Like, motherfucker, you ain't SpongeBob. You broke my window last week, you little shit. Fuck you, bro. You ever see SpongeBob run away like that? Fuck you, man. It's hilarious, man. Look, this is not even a fucking joke. I really did this, all right? I love Chinese food. You guys ever order Chinese food for delivery? They give you a lot of soy sauce packages, don't they? Right? You get a shitload of soy sauce packages. And you save it. You throw it in the fucking drawer and you save the soy sauce. All right? This is not a joke. For 2 Halloweens, I gave these punk-ass kids soy sauce packages. Like, I really did this shit. I filled a big-ass pumpkin bowl with a shitload of soy sauce packages. And I was just waiting by the door. I'm like, fuck these kids. They're getting sodium for Halloween. I give them all high blood pressure. Fuck all these kids. I had to stop, though, because I did it to the wrong kid. There's a little kid on my block. He's in a gang. He's in kindergarten and shit. I'm scared of this little motherfucker. Whole family's in the gang. You guys know people like that? Like, you fuck with him, grandma comes out the house, everybody comes out the house to fight. Right? You know what I'm talking about, really? So I didn't know it was him. He had a costume on, right? So I put soy sauce in his bag, and when I went to slam the door, he put his fucking foot in the door. Like, he stopped the door, he took his mask off. He scared the shit out of me, man. He was like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, oh shit, calm down. I'm like, I didn't know it was you. If I'd known it was you, I would have made you a sandwich, man. Chill. He said I disrespected him. He got all tough. He said, what the fuck, bro? It's Halloween. How you gonna disrespect me like that? Where's the sweet shit at? I'm like, all right, here's some sweet and sour packages. I got a lot of that too. Take this fortune cookie, get the fuck off my porch.
Hey guys, this is Vision Serpent. You're watching Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
Yeah. I didn't understand a word of that. But you want me to eat that ass again?
A little Halloween sandwich for you. Some comedy, a little metal. We put some old school in there, a little nod to our brother Riley. And you know, since Halloween is so shut down this year, I figured no one's really getting, you know, costume contests. So I threw it in there for you. What the fuck? You know? We are a full entree event, goddammit. We bring it up. So you're not missing much if you hang out with us. You get the metal, you get the costumes, and look how good Scully looks. Look good, Scully.
Thanks.
Good enough to eat, my dear. Thanks. Literally. Anyway, thanks again to Blake.
Facial hair, so
it feels so weird. I keep touching my face like
I'll tell you how it feels.
Yeah, let me know. But it is a weird look, though. I'm not used to it. And you and I have been together, what, 21 years now?
Yeah.
And I think this is only maybe the second or third time I've been clean shaven like this.
Often,
yeah, I'm not a fan.
But I have to, like, I think you're already growing a mustache back.
I feel it.
Like I'm not.
I just shaved right before the show.
I think that just in like the 3 hours it's been.
Next week you won't know.
No.
So I figured, fuck it, it's temporary, and it's for the costume. You know, Rowdy didn't.
I love
he
it.
wasn't
Can you
around.
even see that right now?
Yeah, barely.
Should I pull it down?
I can see you. That's all I need to see.
I can't pull it.
So, what do you think? Do you dig my hair? Do I look sexy to you? Do I look like a sexy Rowdy Piper? Keep petting me, love. Never stop. But thanks again to Blake from Pig Destroyer for coming by and telling us his horror movie suggestions. We appreciate it. It will be a part of our weekend coming up because we're just going to sit and we're going to make fires. Scully's got a projector that we can play movies on. Mm-hmm. We're going to make fires outside and show horror movies on the outside wall of the house.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. And we will dedicate a few of those hours to our brother Blake and his movie suggestions. I promise you we will. And I'd like to throw a couple other movies into the hat, if I may, for some people over there. I didn't want to pick a few that were obvious. You know, The Shining and all those. Everybody knows those and loves those. And actually, we will talk a little bit about The Shining when we talk about some Stephen King a little bit later in the show. But I have some horror movie gems that I feel like are a little bit overlooked. I wanted to add to everyone's list to check out for Halloween. What do you?
All right.
Can I talk you into checking out my list?
I will hear the list.
2015's
make that decision.
Southbound. What's fucked up is I'm going to preface what we're about to do here, if I may.
Okay.
I'm going to mention movies. Scully's going to see most of them, and she's going to have zero recollection of any of them. So just so you know that before we talk about them.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Starting with Southbound. Do you remember Southbound, Scully? That was a short story one.
Yet, but let's see.
It was a short story. This one I actually covered. Oh, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to remind everybody. I have a cool video I made for you all. It is on YouTube where it's my suggestion for the best horror anthology movies of all time. I made you a list of the top 10. I told you why you should check them out and gave you little clips. I spent a lot of time making that stupid video, so please check it out if you get a minute. But Southbound is one of them, which is why I bring it up.
Okay, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
It was a bunch of short stories. The first one was Dana Gold is in it, who I know you're not going to remember who that is, but Dana Gold is in it. Many of you will know from Saturday Night Live back in the day. He wrote Stand Against Evil, by the way. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but Dana Gold, who was in Southbound, wrote a show called Stand Against Evil. It lasted 3 seasons. It had John C. McGinley as the main dude in it, fighting against demons and shit. You know John C. McGinley as Dr. Cox. I know you'll know who that is.
Okay.
From Scrubs, and he was amazing in it. He was amazing in that show. If you missed that show, please do check it out. But back to Southbound. Southbound was a cool anthology movie. It has a bunch of short stories that are kind of woven together in a real weird way, which makes it even neater in my opinion. If you can do that, you've sucked me into your anthology. So it's a pretty good one. Pretty good one.
Is that the Thanks for the Ride lady?
That's Creepshow too. Good one though. That's also in my anthology movie suggestion. Though, so.
That's why I guess I thought.
Yeah, that's a great. That line will stay with me till I die. Thanks for the ride, lady. My next one is one Blake alluded to, which is Drag Me to Hell. We both agree it's got a almost Disney-esque quality to the horror at spots.
Okay.
But it goes overboard with some gore. It goes overboard with some darkness. It goes overboard with some. It's got a pretty fucked up ending too, really. I'm a big fan of the movie, and Sam Raimi. Need I say more? We're going to talk about him again in a second even, but Sam Raimi is behind Drag Me to Hell, and I'm a big fan of it. And then another gem that you and I found, which he's, again, not going to remember, but we found on Netflix, which was The Ritual, which a bunch of guys, a bunch of buddies go on yearly trips together every year, like I just said. But at one of them, they go and one of their buddies is violently killed in a liquor store. They're in a liquor store and it gets robbed while they're in there, and one of their buddies is violently killed. So the next year when they all go on this trip together, it's minus one of their buddies, and they end up in these fucked up woods where something seems to be following them. It's called The Ritual, and it's on Netflix. And I had zero expectations when I found that movie, and I was blown away by it. Really good.
Okay.
A real good diamond in the rough on the horror movie. A lot of people Jones on Netflix and say they don't do horror very well, but that's a great example of a pretty good one. So, my next example is The Mist. Stephen King's The Mist. I love The Mist, man. People shit on this movie. I know a lot of people don't consider it one of Stephen King's best. The ending of it is extremely controversial. The ending of The Mist has been very, very debated. But man, that's what's great about horror. Not everything should have a rosy fucking ending to it. And if not 100% of them do that, it becomes formulaic.
Right, you know what's going to happen.
Exactly, man. Break the mold, man. I thought The Mist was fantastic.
Stephen King even himself is on record of saying that he's actually angry because he likes the ending better in the movie
than he did in his book.
In the book.
Yep, that is correct. That is a fact, actually.
So.
And the It movies and all that, where they're talking about the jokes going back and forth about the writer and everybody hates your endings, that alludes to the real life story that Stephen King said all his life people have bitched at him and said, I love your books, but I hate your endings. So that was kind of a reference to that as well. But another thing, before we move on from The Mist, Marcia Gay Harden plays the religious lunatic in that movie, and man, I think she's an amazing actress. She's great in Mystic River. She's awesome, very awesome. She, you want to punch her in the face in that movie, but it's because she's so good at that role.
She's so good, right?
Right. My next choice is Event Horizon. We played a song earlier tonight on the show, as a matter of fact, called Event Horizon, which was badass, by the way, by another great jam. But Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne, 1997. Samuel O'Neill is in that. Basically, it's hell in space. They find a ship that's been returned from a black hole, and the ship itself seems to be a demon or a devil or something. I mean, fantastic movie. Really, really fantastic movie. Number 6 for me is a brand new one. This new Books of Blood that just came out. I just watched it this week, and I figured, fuck it, it's a new. You got to have a new one, right? You know, it's kind of what we do here at
Just fresh
Metal-O-Mania.
in your brain. So.
But yeah, I wanted to give you a suggestion of something that was
I've
relatively
not seen this
fresh.
one yet, for sure.
But it's pretty good. It's a kind of another one that's 3 short stories that are woven together pretty neatly, and I like it.
Oh.
And my last one on my list is It Follows from 2014. Do you remember this one at all? It does. It's basically the scariest STD of all time. It's a demon that's transferred by way of fucking. So if I have a demon following me, the only way I can get him off of me is if I fuck you, and then it'll follow you instead. That's truly the story of the demon.
Okay.
And it's relentless. It's slow. It can take you on different faces and different people. But it's coming at you, man, until you go and fuck somebody and hand it off to them. So it's kind of like, literally, you couldn't be more clearly doing a fucking allegorical story about a goddamn STD, in my opinion. But I like it. It works. It totally fucking works. And side note, Micah Monroe is the main actress in it. You may know her from the second Independence Day movie. Pretty cutie. She's pretty cute in that. But you know, we talk every year. We've done the last 2 different years. We put social media polls up for the best horror movies of all time. Me and Bongwood did a special once about best horror movies of all time. We've really I think this year we should mix it up. So later tonight or tomorrow, somebody needs to do some polls on our social media where we talk about best horror actors, or maybe best scream queens, or maybe horror directors, or things like that. You know, like. When I think horror, I think Vincent Price. I think Christopher Lee, Boris Karloff, of course Stephen King, who we'll talk more about in a minute, but Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Sam Raimi, Dario Argento, who Blake and I both agree that we love Suspiria's Rules, Eli Roth, John Carpenter, David Cronenberg, Clive Barker, Peter Straub, Alfred Hitchcock, Toby Hooper, Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, and I'm leaving out a million off of that list. You know, Robert Englund, yeah, man. And but I thought for this purposes of this, before we play some more jams, let's talk about a couple quick directors, if I may, that have made huge impacts on the horror genre.
Okay.
Starting with Toby Hooper. Before Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees haunted people's nightmares in the 80s, the biggest horror icon of them all was Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that was a Toby Hooper creation. And it can't be understated, man. People I don't think he gets enough credit for his role in the slasher genre. Leatherface is kind of that forgotten guy because he came right before the rest of them, you know?
Oh, really?
He was just before the slasher, Jason Voorhees, and all that kind of shit.
Why isn't he lumped in then?
Those in the know do. You'll often see him in there with, you know, if it's a horror person that knows their horror, you give Leatherface his love. Right. And it should be. He should certainly be in there.
Okay.
How about James Whale? Does anybody love James Whale like I do? I am a horror junkie. Blake is also a fan of James Whale, but he is a guy that is known for the early days of monster movies. He's behind the early Frankenstein, 1931, The Old Dark House, 1932, The Invisible Man, the original in 1933, The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. His role in the horror, the horror genre is immeasurable. Truly fucking outstanding. So Lucio Fulci is another one.
Wow.
The Godfather of Gore from Italian. People forget, before Dario Argento, there was Lucio Fulci who was doing the horror thing. And Italy is a hotbed for so many of the movies that we've stolen from. American horror movies, we've stolen them from Japan or Italy most of the time. You know, that was a place we got a lot of our stuff from. Terrence Fisher, I won't get too much into this, but he was behind like the late 50s runs of the horrors, the Frankensteins and the Draculas, and he did the Big Mummy movie, which was great. You know, if you're a horror buff, you really need to see all of those. They're must-see stuff.
Right. Okay.
Sam Raimi,
like the 50s, late 50s.
Yeah, and an iconic time for horror, by the way. In the late 50s, you had your Creatures of the Black Lagoon and all that stuff happening. Cool stuff. And The Mummy, his version of The Mummy is still the best version of The Mummy, in my opinion. Sam Raimi, who most of you know from the Spider-Man trilogy, is also the Evil Dead guy. Never forget he's the Evil Dead guy. So he's done a lot of other cool, crazy horror, including the aforementioned Drag Me to Hell. Mario Bava, another Italian filmmaker known for Planet of the Vampires, The Girl Who Knew Too Much. The Blood and Black Lace from 1964 is a must-watch, and Bay of Blood from 1971. Fantastic. You must see it. And Dario Argento, I won't talk too much about him because Blake did earlier, but he's got more than just Suspiria, though, man. He's got a great movies. Crystal Plumage, fucking The Cat o' Nine Tails, The Four Flies, Grey Velvet, just outstanding movies from him. You know, he's been dubbed over the years the Italian Hitchcock. and rightfully so. And David Cronenberg, man. David Cronenberg. If it's a David Cronenberg movie, I'm in. I'm completely on board. And we'll talk more about him in the Stephen King segment later in the show. Okay. George Romero, who, let's face it, is the godfather of everything zombie. You know, a bold filmmaker, the first guy to really, he broke a lot of barriers. He was the first guy to give us a black hero in one of our horror movies. You know, we had a black hero fighting against the demons and shit. A truly horrific and heartbreaking ending to this day to that movie, by the way. If you did sleep on that somehow, check it out. Wes Craven is my third to last, and everybody knows Wes Craven from his zillions of movies, man. He's behind everything from Ghostface to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, The Hills Have Eyes, The Last House on the Left, The People Under the Stairs, Deadly Blessing. You know, if Craven's, handprints are so interwoven in horror, it's crazy. John Carpenter, The Thing is my personal favorite horror movie of all time, so John Carpenter is number 2 on my list. But again, his impact on this particular holiday, making the Halloween movie, changed this fucking holiday forever. Mm-hmm. It's just true, man.
Yeah.
And last on my list is not the Italian Alfred Hitchcock, but how about the American Italian Hitchcock? Pretty cool. Psycho and so many great movies. The Birds, I still think Birds is a fantastic. Every time I see a flock of birds in the sky, and it's a bunch of them, I think of Alfred Hitchcock's Birds.
Everybody does,
right?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, like you don't want to walk into that, or like if they're out there, you stay inside for another minute, hope they pass.
Fuck yeah, avoid that shit like a spider web, like fuck you, I ain't going out there. All right, well, I hope that wasn't too boring for everybody, man. But, check out everything Hitchcock, man. Rear Window, Vertigo, Dial In for Murder. So many great things, man. Hitchcock is
funny story about
genius.
The bird, because there's like a birds, there's the bees, like the killer everything.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
There was me and my 2 really good friends in high school. We were gonna create our own movie, and it was gonna be the Killer Daddy Longleg. Because they're actually like the most deadliest, poisonous spider, but they can't actually bite humans because
Yeah, that is very true.
These ones were going to be mutated in some way.
Genetically altered.
Yeah, they're
Daddy Longlegs.
Daddy Longlegs.
I like it. Hey, you want to
make?
Let's make that movie later. You want to? All right. Hey, any budding film directors out there, come talk. Let's make.
And then, like, anytime like a fucked up thing happened in our lives, we'd be like, "Oh, this is totally going to be a scene in our movie." Like,
I like it.
So that was fun.
Hey, we got to hurry up and finish the show so I can see your long legs. But that's good shit. Hey, any of you out there who want to make a movie, hit us up. Let's make the first ever Metal-O-Mania horror movie. We'll call it The Attack of the Daddy Longlegs.
Yeah.
I'm into it, Scully. You might be the next director to make this list. Hit me up. All right, I guess let's play some music, man. I've rattled on enough shit at you guys. I hope you're enjoying candy and Halloween and metal. And I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to play some Mors Subita, which is, the song is Into Eternity. Extinction Era is the brand new release from these guys, man. It's Finland's own badass band. They're just killing it. This officially is out this Friday, man. And dude, ladies and gentlemen, please go and look. There's so much great shit coming. I don't know if these bands did it on purpose for Halloween or whatever, but this Friday, the 30th, there is so many great metal releases. I can't even keep up with them all to tell you about it, so check it out. And this is one of them. So Extinction Era from Mors Subita, and we're going to follow that up with Summoning the Lich, a single from these guys called Descend. They are out of St. Louis, Missouri. This is their second single. It's killer melodic death metal, and it's perfect for your Halloween madness. Let's check it out together as we burn things to the ground on Metal-O-Mania. Don't go nowhere. We're not done yet.
And don't actually burn anything.
Yeah, right. Don't burn anything. Except to Jay.
Or we can chant and dance around naked, with sticks.
And don't you mouth off to me or I'm gonna slap you right in your penis.
This oath doth bind me. May I keep its sacred words, or Beelzebub will find me.
Yes, it's official.
Okay, tall guy? And as far as I'm concerned, you're now the enemy. I'll see you guys in hell.
I love those bands. I love the playlist we have tonight. I hope everybody is enjoying it as much as I am. I'm enjoying every part of the show. We had David White from Heathen. We had Blake from Pig Destroyer stop by to talk horror. We got Scully in costume. We got Rowdy Piper here in the house. You know, good times. Good times. Halloween ain't on hold up in this motherfucker. So, we talked a little bit about The Shining and a little bit of Stephen King earlier. And in my opinion, no Halloween horror conversation is complete without it. A conversation about Stephen King. I mean, he's the king. And he's Stephen King, so. My first book I ever read for fun, just because nobody made me, but because I wanted to, was The Dead Zone by Stephen King.
Okay.
I read it on a rain day when my family was in Ocean City, Maryland when we were kids, and it was a rain day, and we couldn't go outside and do anything, so I literally read the entire book in one sitting. And I loved it. I loved it. And then, of course, it would be made into a movie, which we'll talk about in a second, which is also fantastic. But Stephen King also is the master behind my favorite quote. I've told you guys before my favorite quote of Stephen King's, and I'll tell you it again because we're talking about him. But he was once asked, where do you get all of your horror ideas from? And he responded with, I have the mind of a child, and I keep it in a jar on my desk. And I thought that was a cool answer.
Right.
And he's been very forthcoming, man. He's talked about some of the highs and lows of his career, some of the movies he loved, some of the movies he didn't love. We'll talk about The Shining and his legendary fights with Stanley Kubrick in just a second. But this all, of course, is just in time for The Stand. They're about to do the remake of The Stand on CBS television. December 17th it comes back. I personally am looking forward to it. I liked the corny old one. The Stand was a book. I read the unabridged version of The Stand back in the day when I was going to a job that I rode 2 buses and 3 trains one way to work. So I read the whole way there, and I read the whole way home every day.
Okay.
And I carried The Stand with me every day for about a month and a half because the unabridged version is huge. And it stands today as still one of my favorite books I ever read. So I love the TV adaptation they did the last time, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. So December 17th. Look for that. But I thought that might be a good time to talk about some of the do's and don'ts of Stephen King. What do you think?
All right.
Because there are both.
Okay.
And he'll be the first to tell you that there's good stuff and there's bad stuff. And, you know, he's gone through different drug things in his life. He's gone through that accident where he was hit by the car and he was recovering on Oxycontins. He talks about some of the stories he came up during the Oxycontin phase being very weird and loopy, and I'm sure they were. You know, next week we're going to talk about the impact drugs makes on different music genres. And right now we're going to maybe be talking about some of the impacts those drugs made on Stephen King.
Right.
But he, of course, is the master of horror, and I'm not going to shit on him. What's funny is some of his best movies are not even horror. The Green Mile, you wouldn't consider that a horror movie. Great Stephen King story, great movie. Shawshank Redemption is a fantastic Stephen King movie, not a horror. Stand By Me, fantastic Stephen King story, not a horror. But since they're not horror, we're going to skip those. All right. So, and by the way, if you do want to catch up on some Stephen King books, just a tip for you out there. If you're not a big reader, I know I got a lot of people that, man, fuck you, I'm not reading. I'll wait for the movie, eat my asshole. I'm not reading that shit. There are great audiobooks for Stephen King in particular. You know, and there's some read by Kathy Bates out there. There's some read by fucking Dexter, dude. You can get Pet Sematary read to you by Michael C. Hall, the dude that plays Dexter. I mean, come on.
Okay.
There's no excuse. All right. Anyway, we're going to start off with Under the Dome was a brilliant book and a shitty TV show. But all right, moving on from that.
Right.
That was such a great book. What a ruined television show, man. What a shame, because that TV show was dog shit. But my first do. Let's start with my first do of Stephen Kingness.
Excuse me.
You going to make it, love?
You know, that came out of nowhere.
Good, great. I need to get you some candy to get you charged up again. Our first due for Stephen King is the original Stephen King, and that is Carrie. Over 40 years ago, Brian De Palma's 1976 adaptation of Carrie has remained a classic to this day. Fucking Sissy Spacek is an iconic role. John Travolta as the dickhead. Great fucking movie, great scene. It's been redone and never been recaptured. And it's a big do on my Stephen King list. Next up is a big don't.
Yep.
What do you got? You
love
Carrie, don't you?
Fucks them up. Yep.
Yeah, she gets her revenge a little bit. My next is a don't Stephen King, and most of these are great books. I read most Stephen King books and I enjoy most of them. So, Needful Things I thought was a great book. Awful fucking movie, and this one pains me because the book is fantastic. It's well written, it's contrived, but the movie is a fucking mess, and It had Ed Harris in it, Bonnie Bedelia's in it, J.T. Walsh is in it. Even Max von Sydow makes an appearance as the bad guy, as the demon, as the devil of the town. And it still can't save this mess of a movie because this is one of those rare instances. It's the opposite of something we'll talk about later, but it needed a miniseries. A movie didn't do it. You needed to know the characters more because the guy comes into this town and kind of starts turning people against each other. And the movie, even though the movie does have a 2-hour running time, you just don't know the characters enough. You're not invested enough. It just feels weird instead of, you know what I mean? It does. The book was amazing, but
okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
So let's do a do. I got a do-do. You ready to do-do?
Let's do it.
2007's 1408. Even the director's cut of 1408 is worth checking out with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that one.
Such a great movie, man.
That was freaky.
And that's a short story based on a short story, but The Haunted Room, and you guessed it, 1408. It's creepy. It's suffocating. It's John Cusack's amazing in it. That's a big one. Big one for me.
Yep.
Big fan of 1408. And on the same vein of John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, just 9 years later, they would do another Stephen King movie together, and that's on our don't list, and that is Cell. And this is another one that sucks because I love that book. My mother-in-law bought me this book for Christmas one year. I read it before New Year's. It was a great book. I enjoyed it. And this was just a meandering mess of a movie, though. They threw things in that you don't understand why or where they came from. It's just all over the place. All over the place, man. So don't do Cell. Do 1408 with Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack. Don't do Cell with both of the same people. Another big do is Misery's 1990. Misery, man.
Oof. That movie just makes me think of the scene with the blocks and the feet. Like everybody on a shoulder.
Iconic scene.
It makes me cringe.
The amazing ability of Rob Reiner, great director, by the way. Forget his politics, whatever. He's a great director. But the ability to make him... for him to make Kathy Bates the monster, the terrifying monster she is in that movie is outstanding. The suspense, that's an outstanding movie. It's well shot. Everything is great about it. Brilliant film. Brilliant film with much suspense. On the don't list is Maximum Overdrive, 1986. Remember this one where the trucks came alive? Do you remember that? This is Stephen King's first and only directorial debut. The movie is considered to be a bomb, but... let's be honest. The movie's about a comet passes through the Earth's atmosphere and it brings all the trucks and shit alive. It was a decent story. It has Emilio Estevez in the movie. It has, I forget the girl's name who voices Lisa Simpson. She's in it. But it's got a bunch of people in it. And what the movie's most famous for probably is AC/DC did the soundtrack for it. The Who Made Who song is from that. The soundtrack did very well. The movie actually made a lot of money as well. But the funny sideline behind this is Stephen King himself hates the movie, and he blames it on the fact that he was apparently so blasted up on cocaine the whole time he was making this movie, he barely remembers it. That's from his own words, by the way.
That's funny.
So, yeah, but I don't know. For pop culture reference, it's still worth watching, I guess, to be honest with you.
Probably how you come up with the idea in the first place.
Yeah, right. No shit. Drugs have a lot to do with our ideas, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Another big do is, again, I mentioned it earlier, but Dead Zone. The Dead Zone it's a great book. It's a great movie. Christopher Walken at his finest. I talked about David Cronenberg being one of my directors. And you got Stephen King's story being directed by David Cronenberg with Christopher Walken in it. Are you shitting me? Everything works about this movie. Right. It's great. It stays to the source material. Christopher Walken's role in it is just truly outstanding, man. One of the better, not just horror movies, but movies, period, is The Dead Zone, 1983. If you have not seen that before, please do check it out. Film critic Roger Ebert summed up Walken's performance nicely, saying, "He does such a good job portraying Johnny Smith, the man with the strange gift, that we forget this is science fiction or fantasy and just accept it as this guy's story." And we do. Christopher Walken, one of my favorite movies he's ever done. All right, another don't. Stephen King is Graveyard Shift from 1990, man. And Graveyard Shift was a short story. It was a terrible adaptation into a movie. It's a Maine textile mill where a drifter has taken a job, and several overnight employees at the mill have died recently. And the egomaniacal foreman, played by the way, by Stephen Mack. Stephen Mack's role in that, he's a great actor. You know him from several horror things. But he sends the drifter and others down into the basement into the mill to investigate. And the story gets very fucked up from there. But it's a shitty movie. Let's be honest, it's not a good one. It's the bad part about that is Brad Dourif, who was in Deadwood, who I love his role in Deadwood, who's in a bunch of fucking horror things. Brad Dourif is in it, and I love him, but he couldn't save it. It's a shitty movie. All right, my last due, if I may, is The Shining from 1980, the legendary Shining. Jack Nicholson's role in it is legendary. Everything about this movie is legendary. It really is. Stanley Kubrick is your director for this. And many may know, I guess, that it used to be a well-kept secret, but it's pretty out of the bag at this point, that Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick were at war the entire time this movie was being made. They despised each other's ideas and input. They didn't want to hear anything. And there's a famous scene in the book where the Torrance family goes up to the hotel in a yellow Volkswagen. In the movie, there's a scene where Scatman Crothers is trying to get to the hotel because he hears Dandy talking to him telepathically, and he knows he's in trouble, so he's trying to get up there, and there's a wreck in the way. It's a yellow Volkswagen in that wreck. And it's very much on purpose. It's very much Stanley Kubrick saying, fuck you, Stephen King, it was your book, but it's my movie. So that's pretty wild. And when you think about the fact that Stephen King despises this movie, he refuses to watch it to this day because of all that, and it's truly it's a masterpiece. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. It's spurned so many different things. But all right, and my last don't, and even though I'm living this one, Thinner didn't work. Thinner was a great story. It was a great story, but honestly, the prosthetic fat suit that they put him in the beginning of the movie, it didn't sell it very well, I thought, So Thinner in 1996 is a it's a good premise, man. The dude's getting a blowjob. He runs over a gypsy, and his buddies are the judge and the cops, so he gets away with it. So the gypsy puts the curse on him. He's a big fat guy that he's gonna get thinner, and then he dwindles away. And it's honestly the book. The one thing I will say about the movie is that it does give you the ending that the book does, and in my opinion, that is one of the better Stephen King endings. Man, the end of Thinner is fucked up. It punches you in the nuts. It's a good one. Yeah. So. All right, I got some honorable mentions from Stephen King to check out. I loved the It remakes. I loved 11/22/63 with James Franco, that I believe is still on one of the streaming channels. And again, Dreamcatcher. Everybody hated Dreamcatcher. Fuck all of you. I loved it. Jason Lee, fucking Morgan Freeman, Tom Sizemore. What more could you ask for, man? I like Dreamcatcher. I know everybody hated it, but I liked it. And some dishonorable mentions would be The Mangler, even though it has Robert Englund in it. It's terrible. Riding the Bullet of 2004 is a snore fest. The Lawnmower Man, even though they did, I think, 2 or 3 sequels to it, is awful. The Night Flyer is awful. The Langoliers is an awful TV adaptation. And there you go, man. And I'm going to close the Stephen King thing with this. The Dark Tower fucking movie was an abomination. You can't do the fucking Dark Tower series any justice at all. To give that series any justice, you have to give it the full Star Wars treatment, man. It needs a series of a bunch of movies or maybe a TV mini show or something like Game of Thrones treatment or whatever, but there's way too much material there to try to cover in a stupid, shitty little movie. And I like Idris Elba. I like Matthew McConaughey, but give me a break, man. There's way too much material in there. They did a shitty job. So, all right. And that closes out my rant on the do's and don'ts of Stephen King. What do you think of all that? I know I put you to bed, didn't I?
Wow.
Jesus.
That was good.
You're supposed to at least pretend to be enthusiastic for these things,
great.
Scully. I know it's late at night for you.
First 3 or 4 do's.
We're getting late. I know. We're getting late. I got you. But I tell you what, let's play some music to recharge your batteries. And don't go anywhere, though. We are not quite done yet. Let's get thrashing around right now with some Skull Splitter. Skull Splitter is out of New York City, and they are fucking shred-assery. We are going to play the title track off of their brand new release, which is Exploitation 101. We know a little bit about that around here, don't we? Anyway, but we're going to follow that up with some Sarkator. Sarkator, the song is The Hour of Torment. It is a self-titled debut release. We didn't give you very many debuts tonight, so it's Halloween. We figured you already had a reason to drink. So enjoy these dudes out of Sweden. Don't go anywhere. We got a little bit more to talk about and a little bit more metal, and then you can fucking share this with your friends, hopefully, right? Support these bands, man. That's what it's all about.
Right.
Much love.
Much metal.
See you in a minute. Jam this.
Hey, suck his sick little dick.
All right.
Forget about that, you're on the fast track, nothing matters.
strawberry quick.
Not even chocolate quick.
No, it's that strawberry crap.
It's not fun.
Welcome to hell.
Tough time never lasts. Only tough people last.
Still don't give a fuck. No, fresh out. Fresh out of fucks. Yeah.
Belongs to me. The darkest falls, I bear my wings, delivered to the feet. But for me, she don't just have flesh, but that cannot be quenched. Suffer a loss in death, in the realm of fire. She's pain, the blood is spray. The beast within always just bring me apart, flesh I want found. Every rain upon the factory blood. The she's pain, the blood is spray. The beast within always just bring the rain upon the factory blood. In the hour of torment. Bullet by the shadow, none of the same fight. All will let me die. This sound sugar foil is more than less. Mother life inside my head, no represented day by day. I reveal some innovations when the body's I never roll. The flesh is flame, the blood is free. The beast within always just ripping apart, flesh will fall. The drain of us factory blood. Flesh is flame, the blood is free. The beast within always just be the rain of us factory blood. In the hour of torment.
Sorry about those guys. Such fucking dicks, right?
I can hear you, dude.
Shut up. Fuck you.
Well, I have had some fun with you on this Halloween, Miss Scully. Have you?
Yes, of course.
Are you enjoying yourself? I know I've kept you up way past your bedtime tonight, but hey, man, it's the witching hour. You know what I mean?
That's what Halloween's all about.
That's right. All right, well, I do want to get out of here while she's got a little bit of energy left, so let's play a couple more jams on the way out the door if we can. Thanks again to our pal David White from Heathen for joining us tonight, man. You fucking kick so much ass. Thank you to Blake for stopping by to talk horror movies. Don't forget, next week we will be talking to Dead Low right here on the show. And in the following week, I think we got Caustic and Carnation. And in the coming weeks, we got Flotsam and Jetsam. We got Gamma Bomb. We're going to be hopefully catching up with Sodom. So keep coming to us for your metal.
We're going to be busy.
Fuck yeah, we're going to be busy. We don't take no time off around here. Apparently, much to Scully's chagrin. Yeah. So, all right, well, I guess a quick reminder also, January 26th is EVH Tattoo Day. My hope is that a bunch of you will get Van Halen logo tattoos, take videos of it while you're doing it, and send them to us so we can make a little clip of it we'd like to pass out into the world. So, January 26th, make your plans now to get your Van Halen logo tattoos. I will be doing it. I'll be front and center in Orange Tattoo in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yep.
To get my Van Halen logo. I already got my shit scheduled and everything, gang, so let's do this thing.
Nice.
Can
I remind them to follow, and subscribe
Please
to
do.
the bands that
Please
are on
do.
tonight's playlist?
Fuck yeah. Please do. And our show. I mean, pass our show around, man. Treat this show like a joint at a good concert and pass it around, man. You know?
Right.
Pass it around.
Share it with others, and it'll come back to you.
Share and share alike. Yeah, if you pass your joint that way, somebody will probably pass you a joint from that way. So
right.
It's the way that we're supposed to work anyway. All right, so I got two more jams to close out the show with tonight, man. So we're not done breaking things quite yet. I appreciate you all hanging out with us for your Halloween festivities, and we hope that we are your soundtrack for it. And again, these bands are doing it and killing it well. And we're going to close the show tonight with two more, which is Skeletal. We're going to play Repulsive Recollections from Unveiling the Threshold. This is a French death outfit. This is their sophomore outing, and it is fucking treacherous. You're really going to enjoy these motherfuckers, man, so strap in for that. And then we're going to close the show with Vomit Division. That's right, Vomit Division has a brand new release coming out called Hell in a Bottle. After 2 EPs, this is their debut full-length release, by the way, so drink. And appropriately, the last song of the night is called Cunts and Cocaine. So
everybody wants some.
Everybody wants some. Hey, another Van Halen reference. Y'all caught that, didn't you? EVH Tattoo Day. All right. So again, thank you all for supporting the show. Please share it with as many metalheads as you know, and we'll be back next week to talk to Dead Low. Damn, awesome. all that shit rhymed. What the fuck?
Impressive. Let's cut it off there then.
Right. All right.
See you guys next week.
See you next week, you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Some things you can't unsee, bro.
let it be written. So let it be done.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses,
make sure you go to our website and check out the fucking archives, motherfucker!
That miserable little bag of puke!
Feels alright, there's a fucking end in sight. Left the line, take a side. Today, the solution attention is running through my veins. The devil's off. Find me inside. Cold. Lose and go, the reckless force. I'll do whatever I want. No remorse. Live fast and die. There's no purpose in this life. Attention is running through my veins. The devil's off, it's driving me insane. Time for cocaine. I'm looking for fragments, not for fame. Destruction metal, that is my game. I am of the devil, committed to sin. Don't try to resist, I always did.
Oof, wow. That was some strong-ass Halloween special, y'all. I mean, I saw rapists in a hot tub, zombie cows. I thought I was gonna die, and then this fat bitchy angel came and put me to bed.
Hey, what's up, you stupid fucking pieces of shit? This is Carmen from Atomic Werewolf, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
Hey, this is Chaz from Red Death here, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
This just in. Scientists have discovered that once you've been infected by Metal-O-Mania, there is no cure. Contact Scully right away for more and more metal to feed the dragon.